Well, hi everyone. Welcome and good evening. It is Thursday night, the 16th of July. The 16th of July. This is episode 148. It might well be a bit of an episode tonight. Paul English Live. We're here all over the place. I'll do some tidying up after the intro. Welcome to the show. Still a bit warm, aren't you? Isn't it warm? You know what I saw the other day? A cloud. And then I saw another one. There's quite a bit of demand. We could talk about clouds a lot tonight, but we probably won't. Yeah, hi everyone, and welcome back. Hope you've all had a lovely, delightful, super, wonderful, marvellous week. It's been a week, hasn't it? It's lasted about 2 days, it feels like to me, since we were last doing this. All that time flashing past your eyes and all that kind of nonsense, all that kind of stuff. Been a tremendous week for some people, a really rather awful one for certain people who have lost their lives or have been murdered and stuff like that. You probably know what I'm referencing to. We might even touch upon it in this show. Coming up at in about an hour's time, just over an hour, we're going to be joined by a couple who go by the name of Juicy and Lucy. This is outrageous, of course, and shouldn't be allowed, but it is going to be allowed, and they're coming on the show, and we're going to have a good chat. And they're people who know quite a bit about the work of Graham Moore, who was on here last week, you will recall, and sparked all sorts of little thoughts off in my head, hopefully, possibly yours too. And if I had a bit more time, I'd get round to certain things. But we can't grumble. We mustn't grumble. And somebody who doesn't grumble at all, of course, is the venerable Eric von Essex, who's ensconced right now on the toilet in Fockham Hall. Eric, hello, good evening. How's it going?
It's fine on the throne, yes.
Excellent.
And good evening to you. And it's rather an interesting week, isn't it? Because we've had, inverted commas, an assassination.
I think we have. Something like that.
Yes. And what she said before she was, shall we say, dealt with, I think, by somebody of high orders, was about a hidden hand. I don't know whether I've got that correct.
That's the gist of what she said. Yeah, it's the gist of what she said. Yeah.
She's not the only one, because if you read the book, I said this on, I think, Telegram today, From Admiral to Cabin Boy, by, I think it was Barry Domville?
Rear Admiral or whatever, Barry Domville. Yes, it's a fantastic book. Everybody should read it and get a copy for Christmas. It's a brilliant book. It's absolutely marvellous. It'll make you proud to be English. We don't use the word B-R-I-T-I-S-H around here anymore. It's no, it's going to be tricky.
English.
It's going to be tricky to not use that word. But yeah, absolutely. Now, actually, what I should say, Eric, before we plough in, is people possibly don't know what we're talking about. So just to clue you in, I'd just like to say welcome to all the listeners on FFT Radio. We're here on Food for Thought Radio, of course, every Thursday. We're on the World Broadcasting Network, WBN 324, going out to our American pals, who are all probably cock-a-hoop that you chinned us 250 years ago, and jolly good luck to you, who are just coming out of the end of the World Cup. I can't wait to talk about football loads in tonight's programme, Eric. That's just a joke. Yep, absolutely. What a load of balls. And
yes.
We're out on Rumble, we're on YouTube, we're going out on Holy Land Radio, we're on Eurofolk Radio, and we'll go anywhere you can put us. We're not proud. I'm a radio tart round here, so if you want to pick up the show, get in touch and we'll organise and help you out. And
excellent.
Yeah, so that's the house cleaning. So the lady that you were referencing, because we've not even said her name now. Yeah, Anne Widdicombe. Yes.
And I think what she said about the hidden hand, or words to that effect, if you look at Barry Domville's book, which was published in 1947, he talks about the 1930s and the build-up to World War II. And he was doing, because naval intelligence knew more about the NAZI party than all the other ones, more than they did themselves. And they knew that they were not a threat to Great Britain. And because he said that, he was actually put into jail because...
this is Rear Admiral Sir Barry Domville that you're talking about, isn't it?
That's right. Mm-hmm. Interned is what they said. And he was released in 1943. But what he said in his book, he said every time we tried to make a peace move, a hidden hand, strange things seemed to happen. There were strange deaths and very odd things. There appeared to be a hidden hand.
Mm-hmm.
And Anne Widdicombe, talking 80, 90 years later, said similar. Isn't that strange?
And so did Liz Truss, didn't she?
Yes, but she's still alive, hopefully.
And this is, she is, which is good. And the fact that Anne Widdicombe is not alive is very bad. I liked her. Apparently she made lots of people on the left cry, so what's not to like about Anne Widdicombe? What I liked about her was that she was slightly eccentric, but reminded me of the most ferocious sort of school headmistress that you could ever think of at an all-girls school. Now, of course, I never went to one of those, even though, of course, when I was a teenager, I was very keen to get into an all-girls school.
Same here, yes.
But not dressed up as a lady. That's not what I mean. This was back in the 1970s and things like this. We didn't go in for all that sort of nonsense. But some of the foul, wretched, gutless, heartless things that have been written about her in the left-wing press, for want of a better phrase. It's not really. These are two wings of the same insane bird flying around in circles, knocking itself to bits. Are just beyond the pale. These people are... They're not healthy in the head. And it's interesting today, somebody knocked on my door, Eric, which of course is a bit of an outrage, isn't it? And it was...
How dare they?
Yeah, and my son said, "Oh, so-and-so's here." And I went, "Oh my giddy aunt, I'd not seen him for about a year and a half." And of course he decided to come around and knock on the house, which of course is a matter of deep and eternal shame to me. I said, "Welcome to the SH1T hole." And because it's a bit of a sight round here at times, even I'm aware of it. And of course, maybe I do need to be doorstepped quite a bit and embarrassed into really acknowledging the full state of decay and ruin that I live among. It's not that bad. I've got to really ham it up, but it's not good. I'm not I wouldn't say, yes, this is home of the year. Not going to win that. That's not going to be happening. And anyway, we toddled off for a coffee down here, or was it a tea? It was a cup of tea, actually. I'd already had a cup of coffee, and we went down the beach today, and it was just incredibly warm and fab and all that kind of stuff. And we just talked the state of the nation, and it was the liveliest conversation we've had. I don't mean in a sort of adversarial way, because we're all singing really basically from the same hymn sheet. One of the things we got around to talking about, I don't know whether we talked about Anne too much. We didn't. We can come back to it in a moment. But one of the things that we were talking about is the fact that people, is the self-censorship around people. So he's a member at certain clubs and things, and he's reasonably frank and forthright. I mean, he'd probably hold his own here in this show, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And he was just saying how often he is interrupted by people who say things to him like, "You can't say that round here, you might upset people." To which his response now, rightly, and everybody else is, "I'll say what I bloody well please. If you don't like it, you can bugger off." I mean,
that's right.
That is actually, I think that, I know it might sound extremely delicate and trite and small and of no consequence. I think it's of immense consequence, because this self-censoring that people have morphed into gradually over the decades, they've done it. They don't even know they're doing it anymore. They just don't want to feel uncomfortable or to think that you're making somebody else feel uncomfortable. And it seems to me like uncomfortableness should be cherished and welcomed with open arms, because it's a sign at least that you're alive and willing to actually take a risk in communication. Do you know what I mean? And
I know exactly what you mean, yeah.
Yeah. So few people are
I mean,
willing
it's
to
like-
do that.
It's like humour. Who is it now that said that humour is bad taste? And it is bad taste. I can't think of his name now. He's not much of a comedian, but that is true. I mean, it is especially gallows humour,
Yeah.
and people don't get gallows humour, but that is the thing, and I really do believe that this lefty idea, like for example those terrible things that people have been saying. Now, I didn't particularly like Anne Widdecombe personally. I didn't like her at all.
No,
But
I didn't like her. She was a brilliant dancer.
well, she's a politician. I don't like politicians. But even saying that,
Yeah.
it's a tragedy that she's not with us anymore, and I feel for her loved ones who have lost.
Yeah.
And I think any death like that is a tragedy. And even if somebody I really dislike, someone in the Labour Party, say, I'd still feel for the relatives. And I think there should be some respect for the dead.
I agree with you. Didn't a Labour politician...
It doesn't matter who they are.
Wasn't there a female Labour politician that was killed a few years ago by some lone nutter? So we are told. And the fact is, speculating about these things is exhausting if you think you're ever really going to get to the bottom of it.
I remember that, yes.
But yeah, I mean, these things are out of order. And but it shows you they're like symptoms of a decay at a fundamental level in terms of behaviour and human relations. And I've got to point my finger mainly at the so-called left, simply because they are becoming ever more rabid. And not that the people on the right, and these things, of course, are just arbitrary, really, aren't they? I mean, their idea of extreme right wing is the Reform Party. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. I mean, it's just a joke. They're just completely moderate people, are the people on the right. It's just, in Reform. And I don't want to get all carried away with all that kind of stuff. She was in the Reform Party, wasn't she?
Was she?
Yeah, she was.
I don't know, but I know that. I mean, with the Labour Party,
Joe Cox. Thanks, Matilda.
Labour...
Matilda tells us it was Joe Cox who lost her life
Cox.
at the hands of some lone nutcase. So the story goes, but she certainly was killed. Yeah.
But the thing is, the Labour Party, when it first started in 1907, wasn't really socialist at all. It's completely different. And then what happened? Communism infiltrated it in the 1920s and 30s, and my granddad, he witnessed it, and he that's why his pet saying was always look out for the infiltrators, because he saw how it was being infiltrated. And now it's nothing like the Labour Party of 1907, and it's nothing like it got totally infiltrated. I would say probably in the 60s, 50s or 60s. Probably before then.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I think, I think the Fabians, I don't know if I'd mentioned this to you the other day, or certainly this Fabian Society should be declared a terrorist organisation. I'm quite serious.
I agree. They're
terrorists. They're terrorists. They operate in a deceitful way. They twist the law. They corrupt and pervert politicians. They're working to a hidden agenda, which they do not reveal to people. And it's all lovely-dovey. You could say pretty much the same thing about high-level masonry. I've just said it. I mean, I can't prove any of this, but, there's no smoke without fire, and by their fruits, etc., etc. And this goes for the whole thing. And the fact that Anne Widdecombe said this thing, and she said it in a very sort of really very polite and conservative way. She said, there may be our grounds, something along the lines, to suspect that there are other forces at work. That's my language, not hers. But that was the gist of what she said. I was listening to, Neil Oliver, the Scot, who he's a pretty articulate guy. I prefer him now to when he was doing his sort of round Britain things. I could never really watch that. But I quite like the way his mind works in certain things, and he's very articulate, if you like that sort of thing, in a particular way. He was on the Mike Graham radio show this morning. And it was quite an interesting little exchange, because I'm up pretty early and putting it on, and I'm putting the caveat out there. I don't agree with all of the stances that come out of that show. Absolutely not. Not that would make any difference. Neither would anybody else, I suppose. But there was quite an interesting exchange between the two of them, because what happened was that they got round to talking, I suppose, broadly speaking, Eric, about conspiracy theories. And Neil Oliver said, we're not really conspiracy theorists, apart from which, if you look at them all, the gist of it was, they're all proven to be accurate. nearly all. And then he cited 9/11. He went through a little list of things, and it's amazing how fast you even forget the big events. Now 9/11's what, 25 years ago, nearly. In September,
Yeah,
it'd be 25,
yeah.
25 years, right? And there's been other things since then. There's long-term capital management in 2008, and no doubt loads of other things I forgot. There's been all those fires, those houses painted in blue, floods, the law, everything, tons and tons of stuff, and they all look weird. And one of the points he made was, he said, what's happening now, sort of even with the Ann Widdecombe thing, and other things that have happened, certainly since probably the back end of last year over here, he said, is a very substantial part of the people, and I include all you delightful and wonderful listeners, and I mean that, are basically onto this thing instantaneously. They smell it. It's like an instinct that's developed. They go, there's something, they can feel that the way that this information is being presented is not right, and that the story is likely to be something else. Now, they could be just doing that to absorb your time for the next 3 weeks while you try to work it all out. And in the end, you've got to say, did we achieve anything? I don't really know if you can with these people, because it's just like I've said before, it's the pretense of an involved communication, but there isn't one actually taking place. It's just a theatre. It's a bit of theatre. And that's one of the things that he also brought up. He was saying, just like you mentioned about politicians, and I'm the same, but I maybe not exactly the same. I mean, it's rich coming from, I've never voted for a party and all this kind of stuff. In fact, I was talking to this chap about it today. He said, yeah, but if you don't do that, the other people get in. I said, I'm not worried about that because no one's got any power. I said, you need to know where the power lies. I said, it may be that somebody comes along. It might be Rupert Lowe. I know everybody thinks I'm number one in the fan club because I've said a few positive remarks. But as I've said on many occasions at the committee meeting, it's the least worst horse in the paddock. And even if it were to buy us some time, that's a valuable contribution. And there are certain things that they're doing that the other parties have just not done at all, like the rape report of a few weeks ago, which everybody's forgotten. I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying, have you noticed how fast things go down your personal memory hole? It's quick. It's really quick. And I've been meaning for some time, Eric, to sort of, I've got a diary now, dear diary, got up today, went to toilet. It's not like that. I don't do that sort of stuff. but to keep a record of these manic events, and sort of, because they're just flying through, and I need to sort of write them down, because I reckon in a year's time, it's almost like we could do an end of the year show, and he said, do you know what happened in January? I bet we couldn't remember. By the time we get to December, I bet you and I and most of the listeners, what happened in January? I go, well, this and this, and you remember that? Oh, God. And it's just flying down all these this barrage of these dramatic incidents, and they're real. Anyway, it was good because Mike Graham's response to Neil Oliver was also quite encouraging, because he's come from a mainstream media background. I think he's been in the media his entire life. He worked on newspapers, I think, as a journalist. Yeah, okay, you put that in quotation marks, a journalist. And
journalist?
Yeah, a journalist.
With a CH.
And then he gets into radio and does stuff, and then he gets fired from radio the back end of last year or whatever it was, because he put a tweet up that said, where are all the English, when he's going around a supermarket, right? Which seemed to me quite a decent observation to make. But of course, all the lovies in these media organisations, they're all the same across all of them, I think, or certainly predominantly that type. They couldn't tolerate that because you're upsetting someone and making them feel bad feels and all this kind of incredibly silly, childish nonsense. And he's beginning to, this conversation, and there have been others as well with Neil Oliver, was touching on topics that he wouldn't normally cover. And he said something along the lines of, he said, I'm just getting used to sort of the freedom that we've got in this space. He said it, but it's like still not fully making use of it, because the journalists are ultimately protected as long as they're towing the establishment line, as you well know. Then they're left alone, aren't they? They're not informed anymore. They're just doing a good job out there, keeping the truth at bay or propagating whatever distraction they're there to propagate, and all this kind of stuff. But there are very few real investigative journalists left, like there were maybe 30 or 40 years ago. There don't seem to be any now. It's all pap. And it's almost like hearing him, I'm probably reading too much into it, like him getting used to the fact or considering the idea that he could start to touch upon things that do need to be more than touched upon. Things that we talk about here on this show, in the alternative media and stuff. I just think every voice that you can get in line with the general direction that we're trying to plow around here is a good thing. You never know where it's going to go. You just need more and more people talking. So it was quite an interesting little exchange.
It sounds interesting.
It was. Yeah,
there's always the unexpected. Now, I don't know. I mean, you remember when Diana died or was killed or whatever? Yeah. Now, the mass hysteria over that, whether that was a psyop or not, I don't know. It seemed to sort of be like the crowds. It seemed to be kind of organic, didn't it? I don't think it was a psyop. I really don't. But the way people they're pouring out of sentiment and that, people are that's the thing about humanity.
Mm-hmm.
It's very unpredictable, and this is why I'm optimistic. Because you can have these very clever chinless wonders sitting behind closed doors who are social engineers, planning things out.
They are chinless.
Yes. Oh, hello. Where's your chin, Mummy? Oh, I never had one. And really, I think the unexpected will happen. Something is happening, and there's people waking up who you would never think would wake up to what is really going on. And I wonder whether Anne Widdecombe had woken up to what was really going on.
Well, yeah.
Thinking, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. And
she had a way of delivering information, whatever you may think about her politics and all that kind of stuff. And I'd likely agree with you. But these are public figures. They do absorb the attention of a lot of our kith and kin, whether we like that or not. They just do. That's what's going on right now. I don't see politics as the solution, but if you can restrain it in some way, that might be of some help to us. I mean, maybe it's a long shot or whatever. But if you think of the amount of characters that are distinctive in the way that they deliver things or that might have a brain in there, she had one. You might not agree with what came out of her brain, but there was definitely one in there working. And she was considerate and civil, but firm and clear. And I think some of her communications are absolutely spot. It's old-fashioned stuff. I'm a keen fan of old-fashioned stuff because I associate, rightly or wrongly, old-fashioned values and morals and behaviour and that kind of communication with a better England. I can't help but do that. It was better because of things like that and because there were certain people that could actually string 3 or 4 sentences together and get a point across. She was one of them. There aren't many that can. Going back to the current people that are in power, what is it? More than 90% of them have never had a job. They don't understand any of the mechanisms of control that they're wielding. They don't really understand them. So, I know I'm always banging on about the economy, but they literally don't. What's the point? I was talking to my mate about it today. I said, it's a bit like somebody pretending to be a mechanic, and you say to them, do you understand the principles of the internal combustion engine? And he looks at you and goes, no, but I can paint it blue for you. And you're going,
that's spot on. That really
that's
is
what
spot
we've
on.
got in charge. Oh, no, but I can do a press conference and talk about the economy. Yeah, but do you know what's driving it? Oh, yeah, we've got to have growth. No, it's not even that. They can't think deeper than a puddle of spit. Literally, they can't. Yeah. It's not evil that we're facing, although that we are facing that behind it. It's stupidity. And, if you want to get a sense of how Rome went down the toilet and these other places, I think we're looking at it. It's like that middle management class. And there are there's still a lot of good people holding this nation together, right? I'm convinced that there has to be, right? Even though we moan like mad about it all falling apart as we should. But there's a huge number that are literally becoming untangled in their head. And their ideology is so strong that this is all they live for. I was thinking about, I couldn't find it. I've been looking for a quote from C.S. Lewis for some days. I got it kicking around somewhere. And I was looking for it today, and drat and blast, I couldn't find the damn thing. It was along the lines it was basically talking about the do-gooder never sleeping. Why they work with an intense, relentless sort of energy. Why do they do that? Because they do that. And part of it, this thread is that they're on a holy mission to save us all. And when you stand up against them and say, look, I didn't invite you to save me. I don't agree with your ideas for this, that, and the other reason. They can't hear any of the logic that you're about to give them. All they see before them is someone who's robbing them of the status that they've given themselves as this saint that's going to lift us all into utopia. They're utopians, and it's an illness.
I'll tell you something else.
It's an illness.
It's short-lived because you look at things that have gone backwards. For example, when digital watches first came out, it drove people bloody bonkers. You'd be sitting in the cinema, all these funny chimes coming out of watches.
Yeah.
Now, the highest-selling watches are just simple analog watches. Simple. Yeah. And you know what a phone... I was looking around. There's people have got smartphones, but did you know the Nokia 105 is now selling incredibly well, and that is just a simple, basic phone. And people are fed up with smartphones. They're actually going back to Nokias.
I'm sick of everything with that. We should. I've just got a new phone, and I wish I hadn't. I've kept my old one, right? Yeah. Which has served me really well. It's just showing signs of age. So I thought, what I'll do is I'll be responsible. And I don't even know why I've got it, really. I barely make any phone calls at all. I just use it. The main app that I live on is Telegram. They'll take that off us at some point soon. There are other things lined up. And don't you hit sort of app exhaustion? It's just like, not another one. I just can't be bothered, And yet people... you just go...
But car insurance, in order to get your goodies, like a £20 voucher and things like that, you have to download an app, and this bloody thing's bleeping at you. And I don't want it.
Yeah,
I really don't want it.
We don't want it.
This is a good thing.
We do not want it.
Look, well, the Nokia. I mean, I've actually got a Nokia smartphone, and I have to admit, I've had it for quite a long time, and it really is good. They're really built to last. They're a bit basic, but they're okay. But the battery's going down, and I'm thinking, well, is it worth buying another battery?
You're on a commission from Nokia, Eric. What's going on?
Well, it's funny you should say that. I'll be speaking from the south of France next week, by the way.
I'm glad to hear it, because a man of your sales dedication deserves all the benefits he can get. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Eric, do you like chickens?
Yes, I do like chickens.
I quite like chickens, and I like songs about chickens. And I came across this. Now, I'm going to give this to Mark, the Bowler Hat Farmer. I had a chat with him today, but we're going to do a song now. Paul is hanging around in the back end, as they say. I'm going to bring him on after this.
Really?
Yeah, I've sent him a message. Steady. I'll set him up, you knock him down, mate. That's the...
Chickens can be a clucking nuisance.
Well, they can. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they can. Anyway, this is a song. I'm just going to play it, and it's fast and furious and great from about 1956, because I do that sort of thing. Afterwards, Paul will be joining us. Here we go.
One night, Farmer Brown was taking a hand. He locked up the barnyard with the greatest of care. Out in the hen house up and stood. When he hollered, "Who's that?" This is what he heard. There ain't nobody here but us chickens. There ain't nobody here at all. So quiet yourself, stop that fuss. There ain't nobody here but us. We chickens trying to sleep, and you bust in and hobble, 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 hobble with your chin. There ain't nobody here but us chickens. There ain't nobody here at all. You're stomping around and shaking the ground, kicking up an awful fuss. We chickens trying to sleep, and you bust in and hobble, 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 hobble. It's a sin. Tomorrow is a busy day. We got things to do. We got eggs to lay. We got ground to dig and worms to scratch. Takes a lot of setting, getting chicks to hatch. There ain't nobody here but us chickens. There ain't nobody here at all. So quiet yourself, stop that fuss. There ain't nobody here but us. Kindly point that gun the other way and hobble, hobble, hobble off and hit the head. sitting getting chicks to hatch. There ain't nobody here but us chickens. There ain't nobody here at all. So quiet yourself, stop that fuss. There ain't nobody here but us. Kindly point that gun the other way and hobble, hobble, hobble off and hit the hay. Hey, daddy, what you say? It's easy picking. There ain't nobody here but us chickens.
I thought that was clucking good myself.
It certainly was, wasn't it?
Did you quite? There ain't nobody here but us chickens behind the microphones by Louis Jordan. Originally, now that was 1956, but it was originally released, I think, 1946, 47, 48. And that's
Was
the
the
beginning.
music nice then? Wasn't it really nice music?
Yeah,
And
it's
everybody
called
seemed to
Swing
be
Jump. It's
having a
the
good
origin
life.
of rock and roll,
Yeah.
is that? You can tell from the
Yeah,
beat. That
it's
was one of
good.
the first tracks that are hinting at something a bit livelier coming down the pike, you know. So that's kind of what was happening. Yeah, absolutely.
You
So
have to
Mark's going to
shell
get
out
that. Mark's going to get it. Who said that? Was that somebody who got into the studio? Who was that?
I bribed my way in, Paul. Good evening, all.
Evening.
Hello, mate.
Evening, Paul. How
It's
you
Mr.
doing?
Hanorak.
It is. How you doing?
Yeah.
Did you have to shell out for that music?
You would
Or
get your
does it- is
beak
it-
in on
was
that,
it-
It's
wouldn't
been
you?
great having you on the show, Paul. We've really enjoyed it. You made a great contribution. Yeah, it's great. The yoke is on us, something like that, right?
Oh, dear.
Oh,
I think
dear,
we
yeah.
cracked that one.
It's dad's jokes. It's dad joke central right now, isn't it? Yeah. So, anyway, you were just talking about tech, weren't you? And these Nicky Nocky Nokia phones and all that kind of
Nicky
stuff.
Nocky Knacker
Yeah,
days.
I like this new one that I got.
Yeah. What, is that a Nicky Nacky Nocky Nacky one?
No, I won't say the brand because I'm on a sales commission from them as well. Of course, I too am going down to the south of France. I should be seeing you down there in a few weeks' time. No, it's just that the amount of crap that was on it. It took me 3 days to get the crap off it. They just go, "You're on Facebook." I'm not on any of this thing. It's like, get everything off my phone. I'm going to put 3 things on there, and that's all I want on it. No, you've got to have this. You've got to have that. I can't find the light. The volume's all wrong. Oh, what a stressful thing it's been. It's
Well,
awful.
that
so.
Nokia I was telling you about, all it's got on it, all you can get is phone,
Yeah.
messaging,
Yeah.
and if you get the latest one, it's just got, I think it's Opera on it, but very reduced. But earlier phones didn't even have internet connection on
Opera?
them. Yeah.
So you get some woman.
Yeah, there's a microscopic
Was it
version
Oprah?
of Luciano Pavarotti put into the
Yeah.
case, and he sings very loudly. Yeah, it's great.
But I want a light. That's all it's got on there. So all you get if you get a box. So and they're about 15 quid, and you just have a light, telephone, and text messaging.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Right.
What did
And
you-
I was thinking,
With these phones, like when they were fairly new, how often did you come back to a place and it was dark and you'd just press the screen on so you could see where you were going and just
Never.
just getting the key to the
I've never
old
done it.
light
I've
would
never
go
done
off.
it.
I think the most useful thing about a modern phone is the torch. It is. I use it loads. I'm
I see
serious.
that.
I use the torch more than anything else. That's about it.
There is one other good thing that you're perhaps missing the opportunity on. You see, the height of them is about the same height as the bottom of a door, so they make a very good door wedge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
We'll have to do
But
that.
it's handy to have as a backup because I was even thinking about this because there's a firm now doing unlimited calls, unlimited texts
Yeah.
for $2.95, which is not bad if you're in
bloody
America for
tight
about
one,
what
you,
$4.
aren't you? Hey, get your hand down.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Hey.
$2.99.
Yeah. So tight, me bum squeaks.
Don't you find that if anybody calls you on the phone, you don't answer it? I can't. There's the thing about phone calls, right? Is that they're always interrupting a task that's generally way more important than what the call's about.
Yes.
It's absolutely
Yes.
true. You know, like
And
I'm
all
on
I
the
get
toilet
is
or something.
scammers.
You know, it's just terrible. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
get
but-
phone calls.
Don't
I mean,
you?
the only ones I get is from scammers telling me that what is it now? Some account has been closed.
Yeah.
That was it. Microsoft. That my computer is infected.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh dear, you know, I am no longer infected. Goodbye,
Yeah.
and slammed the phone down. And that's all I get. It's bleeding scammers.
Yeah.
Well,
And
one of my friends, he used to have, well, he's still got a mobile phone, but when they first came out, he said, "Well, I got my mobile phone with me, but it's off." And I said, "Well, so I've got as much chance of contacting you via a
Yeah.
payphone
Mm.
as, in fact, I've got more chance because that'll actually ring and your phone won't."
Yeah, my
As a result.
ringer's never on. My sons go crazy. Don't you answer your phone? I'm going, no. I can't stand the sound of it. It starts playing these things. You know, do you see that little video that someone put out about all the beeps that are in your life? These things are
Yes.
hideous. They're in cars and everywhere. It's like, honestly, we need a car we need the DIY car. It's not that you build it, you can buy it, but when it starts to go wrong, you can DIY it like you used to be able to do that. Anyway, look, I'm turning into an old fart again, but it's true. Did you mention something as well about car insurance, Eric, a few minutes ago? I'm sure you did. Did you say something about
yes,
car? Yeah.
yes. With car insurance, if you go onto these sites where they find the cheapest for you, because I'm an insurance tart, I just go to the cheapest ones because I don't go mad on insurance. They give you, was it a £20 cashback where you can go and spend it like a gift token. But the trouble is, once upon a time, you could just download it on your PC. Oh no, you've got to have an app now on your phone. So I had to download this stupid app, and it's driving me up the wall. It really is, because I don't want a load of junk on my phone. I just want my phone to do what it's there for, and that is make phone calls, and that's it, basically.
Yeah. Or in my case, it's to ignore phone calls, incoming calls. But they are mad, some of the calls. You know, or the messages are the best. Can I talk to you? Who are you? Well, I've got this. No, you can't do that. You know, and all that kind of stuff. It's insurance. I had a little thing to mention about insurance. I think a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned, because I know Mark may have mentioned it on a show, or maybe it was just a private conversation, you know, as you do. You know that organisation Cabby? Oh, you've heard of it? cabritain.org, I think it is. Well, they've got an ad that rolls around here on FFT. Cabby, it's an organisation, and they're getting pretty well organised with all sorts of stuff. And Mark told me, I've mentioned it here on the show a few weeks back, that it's through them. Now, I didn't know which organisation it was when I mentioned it previously. It's through them that you can get your car insured.
Ooh,
okay,
I'd be interested.
For £300 per annum, and that's it. £300 insured. Now, it might be, I don't know what the insurance is as you get older. Maybe it goes up or something. I've no idea these days because I've not insured a car for a couple of years. But that covers you for your car and any other vehicle that you want to drive. Anything. You are covered.
And it doesn't matter what age you are, or whether you're a stock car driver or anything like that?
I'm not aware of all the details. I mean, if you've only got one leg, it might go against you. I don't know. But I think, so basically, it's a bond. It's not an insurance policy. It's a bond. And Mark was telling me that he got pulled over by the coppers the other day. They must have run some kind of a check on his number plate and said he hasn't got insurance. So they pulled him over. Mark didn't mind. He was quite cheery as he was recalling the story to me earlier today. And, yes, Ossifer, how can I help you? And all that kind of stuff. You haven't got any insurance. He said, oh, hang on. And he goes and gets this bond document and shows it to him. He said, I've got this. You see, this covers me. He said, what's that? He said, this looks like a bond. He said, that's right. He said, do you mind if I go off, sir, and check it? He said, not at all. So he goes off, makes a phone call, comes back, said, yep, you're all right. Mark didn't even mind. I think they're trying to get it so that it's on the coppers database so that it wouldn't flash up on their super policing database, you evil person for driving around on the road, you know, under your own free will. But this is pretty cool. And so I'm just letting you all know, you have to go to the Cabby site, and I can't tell you what it is right now. I probably could at some point if I'm
very interested.
Yeah, because, I'm just thought I'd big it up again. You have to join their newsletter, which is free, and then I think you get a newsletter once a month. This is what Mark was telling me today. And if they've got spots available, because it's not sort of like the whole world can pile in at once, but you guys know about this, so you're privileged, you know, that privilege thing that we're supposed to have. Well, here's one. So you can get in there, £300 for all the vehicles. Now, if you're a self-employed guy with a couple of vans and things like that, this is just an awesome saving. Really is. And I know a couple of guys who are painters and decorators and a builder, a couple of building guys. They're good lads. And I've got to tell them about it. I say, go over there and get on that. And it's just this is cool, isn't it? This is like real stuff that really would make a difference to people right now. So, I don't think it's overnight. You don't just sort of phone up and get a policy or whatever it is. It probably takes a little while. So if you're urgently about to renew your insurance, you should probably go ahead and do that. I would, not that I'm an advisor on these things. I don't even have a bloody car. But
I mean, with 2 cars, it costs a bit. I've got my Carina on a classic car insurance.
Is that the Fockham Hall ambassadorial Carina? Is it that one?
That's the one with the flags at the front.
Yeah,
that's right. One of the flags at the front.
I thought so.
Slightly modified now by the garage doll, but apart from that, and the smart.
Well, when you called up your insurance company and you said about the smart card, did they have to get the time team in to sort of find out what it was?
No, they actually say, excuse me, sir, have you had a history of mental illness? When you tell them you got a smart car.
Well, just on the first topic you brought up, can I give my gematria side of Anne Widdingham?
No.
Certainly.
I'd just like to say that. It just sounds great. Everybody always says yes and so gracious. Of course you can, Paul. Go on. Get in there.
Right. So,
I didn't know she suffered from gematria. I thought she took ointment for it, didn't she?
Is that a make of mattress, the gematria? I'm sure it's a mattress, isn't it?
Yeah.
Has that not cleared up, Chris? I thought you'd been down to the clinic and everything.
Hey, hang on, Paul. Before you just jump into that, right? Yeah. Let me tell everybody what the URL is for CABI. Okay, CABI stands for Community Assembly of the British Isles for One and All. We've got that word British in. So anyway, there you go. Anyway, their website is ca-britishisles.com. I'll copy and paste this into all the chats. And all the chats means the FFT chat. Yes, there's a chat room on the FFT radio website. There are people in there. Hi, guys and gals. And also YouTube and Rumble chat. So I'll paste that in there momentarily. Paul, the stage is all yours. Get gematriing away like Billy-O.
Okay. It won't take long. It's just to say that I don't think she was actually bumped off per se, but it was actually more of a ritual than what the news is telling you. Okay. So they always link to their birthday. So it was 88 days from the day she died to her next birthday, which would be the 4th of October. Now, 88 equals ritual killing and Masonic ritual. Okay?
Yeah.
It was also 9 months and 4 days after her last birthday in 4th of October 2025, which gives you a 94. Blood sacrifice ritual and human sacrifice ritual are both 94. Okay. Anne Widdingham equals 68. Murder-suicide equals 68 as an exact match. They always link to the highest constable they have on there. So this guy was an assistant chief constable, Matt Long. His name equals 130, an exact match to human sacrifice. Okay. Then as we get a bit further down, there was a video clip of something which was 1 minute 15 seconds, which means something. Skull and Bone Society equals 115. Okay.
Right.
This copper had said in speech marks in news articles always equals code. So as a priority equals 61 and 74. Murder ritual equals 61 and skull and crossbones, and 74 equals Skull and Bone Society killing a Masonic.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it's a bit depressing, this, but and then they showed a picture of the distance this murderer in speech marks travelled, which was 263 miles. Now, if it had been 261, 264, 265, it wouldn't have meant anything. But 263 equals skull and crossbones. You seen the links here?
Yeah.
Okay. She died age 78 on the 8th of July, which is a date that can be written 7/8. Her murderer, apparently, called Heather Herbert, has a value of 78. There you go. There's my little 10 pence worth.
Yeah, there's a little bit of, I don't have enough basis of understanding of it all, but I get what you're driving. I mean, I am aware of it in the general terms, but not specific terms, but yes. Well, you don't know. They like their Masonic rituals, don't they? They love them. They think they're the best things in sliced bread, and they're always embedding numbers all over the place with these sorts of things. Anyway, it's
that was of interest.
Yeah, I mean, she was when she was killed on the Wednesday. I think they were saying that
Yes.
I think it was the Wednesday, wasn't it? And then it was announced on the Friday morning because they probably found her body. It's just out. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. There's no point.
Well, that would be 48 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and 48 false flag equals 48.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're never by accident. And you were asking about, Chris. You mentioned about Diana. She was killed on the 31st of August, whichever year it was, and that date leaves 122 in the year, and 122 equals satanic ritual.
Ooh.
There you go. And she hit the 13th pillar, and the number 13 is a very important number in that world. I'm back off my little soapbox now. I thought just sort of add that little bit to you.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I mean,
thanks,
Sammy in the chat writes, the secret religion of the occult masters. I suspect very much so, Sammy, and Paul's backing that out. Backing that up, I should say. Warren quite liked the song and thinks that we should maybe play Saturday Night Fish Fry. Well, we can't, Warren. It's not Saturday. Sorry. We'll just have to wait for Saturday. But we'll have to do that then. And I never eat fish and chips on a Saturday, which is a bit weird, but it must have been a thing. Louis Jordan recorded lots of cracking songs, all about food, fish, chicken. I wonder if he's got any songs about beef and pork and sausages. I mean, they're made for Mark's show, aren't they? The best rock and roll food songs you never did hear.
What about faggots? That was a Victorian.
Are you changing
food,
the topic?
Faggots.
Are you changing the topic?
No, it's a food, isn't it? It's faggots, about boiled beef and carrots. And
We know things about that, don't you? You'll need Elton John on there.
Well, I was say brains faggots. You can get them in Tesco's.
You can.
So So you go down and say, "Excuse me, got any faggots?"
You don't think that? I mean, if they were how my mum and dad used to get them, when they got them out of the packet, they look like two things that a camel had left behind.
Yeah. Alice suggests to you, Paul. She says, "Take his calculator off of him and send him back to his room." You tell him, Alice. That's absolutely fantastic. Alice doesn't drive, and then someone suggested it's driving Miss Alice. She gets driven around by a chauffeur. Yeah, I think we should all have that. I could do with a limousine, and we should all be driven around. But so that's how Alice gets about, which is pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the fallout of it's all going to... Has been anything else? Oh, yeah, football. Let's talk football. I'm not talking football, really. I don't want to talk football. I know I keep returning to this thing because I think it's kind of important. There was a video on YouTube by some English chap, an actual English chap, as it were, because you have to, define all this the other day. Had about 95,000 views. What was interesting, it had nearly 6,000 comments. It was absolutely piled up with comments. Many people very, very upset that what the basic gist, and it was a bit soft in parts, but it was also, I was quite impressed that he was willing to say it and be on camera. He was basically following the line that we've covered here, or certainly that I've expressed a few times, which is that, is this an actual team of England? And of course it isn't. And there's so much to discuss on this. I think it would be, the BBC will never discuss it, of course, but that event... last night, the team called England played Argentina. As far as I could make out, everybody that played for Argentina was an Argentinian. Therefore, that was a national team. We didn't field one, so I thought the result was irrelevant. But I was relieved, really relieved, that Argentina won. Because the rumour was that Andy Bumhole and Keir Starmer we're gonna go over there and take seats at the final should England have made it. And it's the most repulsive thought. They are such foul, reckless, disgusting, wretched hypocrites. I mean, they're repulsive down to the core. They have literally no shame, and they just grin all the time as if no one's ever going to see the lack of substance that they've got. So for that reason, it's not a sort of a pointing the finger at the players, all of whom are good, but many of whom are not playing in the right team. It's just that simple. And it would be great if they were. I'm serious. Do you remember Cameroon back in the 1980s, I think it was? Yeah. So the Cameroon team was all Cameroonians from Africa. Nobody had a go. We thought they were really interesting. They were very physical and fit guys and played a kind of robust sort of first division type football, but they were quite effective. But nobody sat around going, I don't like them or anything like that. I think there's a lot of grist for the mill here. because it's only the so-called European teams which aren't. I mean, the team called France, did you see that video that some African had put together? It's hilarious. I should have sent it to you. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a couple of minutes. It's called World Cup 2030. And it's England against Scotland. And everybody in all the teams are from Africa. and it's just hilarious. It's brilliant. It's satire. It's making the point. You know, if these guys are good at football, just play for your nation. But they can't because they've been hijacked. You see, this is the other way around. The FA or whatever, they're hijacking these players into their national teams as part of the WEF agenda to basically destroy all natural diversity amongst people, playing styles, cultures, and etc. So I won't bang on about it again. Well, that's a lie. I will, because the World Cup will be around in 4 years' time, and I'll still keep banging on about it. Did I ever tell you that my son sometimes goes out to the pub to watch the England people cry when they do it? Don't you think that's fantastic?
Oh dear.
It's really well.
Yes.
They do. They get carried
mind
away.
you, why can't we have eccentrics? Like, for example, do you remember the Jamaican bobsleigh team? I mean, Jamaica, world renowned for bobsleigh, I don't think.
Yeah.
They even made a film about it, and I remember it. And do you remember Eddie the Eagle? We need more bloody eccentrics in this world. I mean, you know, things like that are fun. And they, excuse my language, they take the wee out of. All right. I agree there's people that practice for years and they get to the top of their art.
Yeah.
Good for them. But we do need one or two eccentrics to bring them off the pedestal occasionally.
Yeah.
And I think Eddie the Eagle did that. And the Jamaican bobsleigh team did it as well.
Yeah, the film
I
is with John Candy, wasn't it? It's called Cool
That's
Runnings.
it, yeah.
Shout out to Mike Mantis.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. Cool Runnings with John Candy. I love John Candy. There was a lot of him to love, wasn't there? He's a big lad. Very funny, though. Just the most delightful personality. He's the sort of guy that you just want to go out and have a beer with, but it'd probably be more than one. And I don't even drink beer. But I just...
He was funny in Chevy Chase. Remember the Chevy Chases?
Some of them. Yeah, I do. Yeah. He's good in everything. I thought in Planes, Trains and Automobiles, which is one of my favourite top 10 films ever. I just love that. I know it's sentimental. I know it's mushy, but...
Where have you got your hand? Between two pillows? No, it's not between two.
Those are pillows. Yeah, it's just got the most... I love that bit where he's confronting him. He says that line to John Candy, who's looking really hurt. He's so hurt. He says, oh, yeah, and when you're telling an anecdote, why not include a point? It makes it so much more interesting for the listener. I go, they don't write dialogue like that no more, you know. It was absolutely cracking.
Was John Candy in Uncle Buck? I think
Yes, he was, yeah.
And that was a classic. That really was good.
Yeah.
And especially when he puts those bullies down, you know.
Yeah.
Well, was it Chevy Chase where he's in the where there's he's on a jet ski, or there's somebody he's got a boat and there's some bloke behind water skiing, and the bloke's shouting bastard, and he thinks he's shouting faster, he sticks his foot down.
Yeah, they're good stuff. They were a more light-hearted time, weren't they? Don't you think? Anyway, we can't get too sentimental. We've only just started the show. We can do that later on, I suppose, and get teary-eyed about the past, like pathetic old gimmers. But I put on for today's... Sorry.
Well, very quickly, Uncle Buck, when he goes to the school and has to talk to the headmistress, that has me off my seat with laughter. It's a classic. It
The
really
pimple
is.
on her face.
That's right. Now, Miss Walt. Sorry, Miss Melanoma. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
He was also in the first Home Alone, where they're in the van.
Was he?
Yeah.
I didn't realise
He's in the van, part of the trumpet player in the van.
Oh, it's classic.
You just can't take him seriously. He's got one of them faces. You just laugh at him. If he turned up in a mass murdering scene, you'd still laugh at him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
he's got
just-
the funny bone. He's just funny, and this is true. You know, it's a bit like they either got it or they haven't. And this is the trouble with this left-wing type modern, what they call it, alternative comedy. It's not comedy. It's not funny. John Candy was funny. That's it. And he could just stand in a room and people would start laughing because he gave
He's
off
just
that
such an
kind of-
open-hearted guy, really. You know, he was really good at ice hockey. And
I didn't know that.
yeah, he was, and he got injured, and that's why he got weighty that's what caused his weight problems. He was really pretty good at it because he's a Canadian, right? And so I think they're born on ice skates, aren't they? When they get born, they're just on the ice immediately. And why not? And stuff. There's a great documentary about him and about his life, which I watched about a year back, with all the people that work with him, like Steve Martin and people like that, just saying. And it just comes across what a genuinely warm-hearted guy he was, and not really of the industry. He was just this larger-than-life guy, and basically he just took on so much work. And then, of course, he has a heart attack, and he wasn't very old when he went. 44, was it? Early 40s? I can't remember, but
if he's around now, But mind you, he might not have been able to get work now because the type of comedy he did. He couldn't get away with it now. I don't think a lot of it, but it's such a shame because he really was funny. And but as I say, I didn't know that he was into ice hockey. That's something I didn't realise.
Yeah, he was. He was good at ice hockey. He was very, very good. Anyway, you know what I called the night show? I think something like "Time for Your Weekly Constitutional." Now, have you used that phrase, Eric, in your life? I'm off out for my constitutional.
That used to be the name of holiday camps, the Constitutional Holiday Camp.
Did it? It actually means your regular daily walk. I'm going for my daily constitutional. Did you know that? Eh?
Well, I do now.
Yeah, because I say it even now. I'm just going out for my constitutional. I've been saying it since about 10. I have. Stop talking like that, Paul. No, I am, Mum. I'm going out for my constitutional. It's a big word, isn't it? Anyway, we were talking about the Constitution last week, weren't we, with Graham? And on the other side of this song that I'm about to play, this track, which is just under 5 minutes long, we're going to be joined by Juicy and Lucy, which should be fun. And we're going to kind of carry that conversation on a bit and look at some other things. Now, after last week's show, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who posted it. Somebody put a comment on the Rumble version of last week's show. Thank you very much, whoever you were. I'm sorry, I just don't have it in front of me right now. And they said, here's a song with Graham Moore in it. Seriously, right? Are you ready?
Really?
Yeah, singing like Billy.
Oh, so it's going to be another song about chickens.
No, this has not got chickens in it at all. This is, I'll just play it
Well, it's
for
got
you.
Graham Moore in it.
Yeah. Well, he didn't know anything about chickens, does he? He's not really this, that, and the other. Anyway, there we go. It's called Enough is Enough, right? It's by a band who I couldn't find. I've been looking for them for a week, called Strength in Numbers. And there's actually another band called Strength in Numbers, which is like an American bluegrass band, and I couldn't find them. They're somewhere up Manchester way, this lot. Anyway, you'll hear Graham. It's not really singing, but it's quite interesting. We'll be back on the other side of this. So here we go.
We need to restructure this whole system. They can't be allowed to keep doing this. Someone out there must say enough's enough.
Enough is Enough by Strength in Numbers. And I quite like Graham on lead vocals there. That worked, I thought.
Oh, wasn't he? Yes.
Yeah, he was good. It was actually good. He comes across well. I really enjoyed it last week, and hopefully we'll get together again for another show imminently. It was really good. Anyway, here we are in part 2. Welcome back. We're here on FFT Radio, WBN 324, Rumble YouTube, Eurofoot Radio, Holy Land Radio, and somebody else that I've forgotten. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Now, some people, tons of them, well, 2 of them, that know Graham probably a little bit better than I do, which is not saying a great deal because we've only just recently met. But it's courtesy of these 2 people that I've kind of made connection with Graham, because they were kind enough to put us in touch a few weeks ago, and after a couple of missed calls we got together, and that's why last week's show happened, which was great. So I'd like to welcome to the show and on air Juicy and Lucy. Hello, chaps and chapesses.
Evening.
How are you doing? Evening. How are you?
How are you? You all right?
Hello.
Yeah, we're
Look,
good.
that's what we do. We pass his number about to just like spread the punches, really.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Give it a rest.
There's everybody in the studio. There's obviously me, right? But Eric von Essex is here. Eric, this is Eric.
Hello. Hello, Juicy and Lucy. It's nice, isn't it? Nice day.
Hot.
Beautiful.
And Paul. We've got Paul here. Actually, we've got Paul, who's also known as Anorak. Not that I think he wears anoraks, but he just is, because he knows a lot about... Yeah, he knows a lot about public transport, which is very important. And then we've also got, lurking in the background, we've got Paul, another Paul over in America, who sometimes bursts out with sort of revolutionary songs and things like this. So that's who's currently here. We've also got Patrick waiting in the wings, but I can't get everybody on the stage. It'll get a bit too crowded voice-wise. So, but yeah.
I'm changing my name to Paul, so it stops any confusion.
We've got to change also and get a P in front of it as well.
Yeah, you might as well. Anyway, listen, let's start. I'd like to start off with a sort of an introductory question, just to get the ball rolling. How long have you been sort of absorbing, let me use that word, Graham's material and getting into this? Is it a relatively recent thing for you, or is it quite long-standing?
A year and a half.
Right.
Yeah,
about a year and a half.
About a year and a half, maybe coming up to 2 years.
Yeah, we met him by accident on a friend's boat, and got talking and chatting.
Yeah.
And then once he said about the English and the British, the penny drop, I was like, gotcha.
Right.
Got it.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. That's the exact thing I needed to hear. And once he said about the difference between British and English, that was it. I was hooked.
Had you been looking into other sort of similar kind of parallel areas before you met?
Right. We've been doing it.
We've investigated quite a few different things, haven't we?
Yeah, you was on a show the other night, and you had 2 ladies talking about Barclays Bank and what the Barclays Bank had been doing to them. Yeah. We run Barclays Bank into the ground 20 years ago for fraud.
Right.
Mortgage fraud and how they did it. So we
it wasn't just Barclays either.
No, all of them.
Excuse me.
All of them. The whole shooting match of banks were all involved with it.
Yeah, Barclays, Lloyds, the Land Registry, the Law Society, the Ombudsman,
Westminster 7,
Westminster. At one point, they all have the same signature.
Yeah. So we did our own investigation work. So we used to go out and investigate in the banks. You used to go out and camp out to get information, paperwork. And we realised what they was doing. They was doing an off-the-books account, so they would get your account and switch it to a backdoor account.
Right.
Yeah. And then basically, we've always wondered why, because the mortgage didn't actually exist on paper on the front side. It was on the back side.
Right.
So all the paperwork was coming. It was just coming from Barclays, and Barclays were taking the money out.
Yeah. When they offered the mortgage, there was a time scale on it. And the time scale came and went, and then the mortgage was started a day or 2 later.
Yeah, because I didn't know you
apparently, and that's how they get around it. The time scale runs out, so it looks like somebody's just not bothered taking it, and then it gets put in the back system. Yeah,
what they do is they do all the conveyancing for you. Right, we'll pay for all this.
Yeah,
so then
we'll give you
we'll give you the mortgage. We'll do all the conveyancing. It's all into the price. And then what they do is they go off to your bank, which was it Lloyds or Cheltenham Gloucester?
Cheltenham Gloucester was the original mortgage.
That's mortgage. So
that was the kosher mortgage.
They go into, like, say, Cheltenham Gloucester on your behalf, and they take a check in and say, you've now paid your mortgage off, right?
In full.
In full. And they've done it on your behalf. And then what they do is they take it out from the system. Yeah. And as far as the system is aware, you've paid your house off. And she never realised that the
paperwork I had they
deeds.
actually sent me the deeds.
They sent you the deeds because them deeds are now yours because the house is paid off, which you didn't realise at the time. And then all the paperwork that follows after that is fraudulent paperwork. You're thinking it's Barclays and you're thinking it's all these Cheltenham and Gloucester. You're thinking it's all Halifax,
right?
And it is, but it's not. So you want a back system, and then all the money that went out. This is really bizarre. It's a long story, but trying to do it short. All the money that went out of her account, we're like, well,
of my Barclays account for the mortgage.
How's it getting out of the account? Because the actual the backs numbers didn't make sense of anything. So we used to do like a full investigation. So we got all your statements, and every day, sort of like at a certain time, I think it was 13:02, an ATM. I won't say where it is. The same ATM. There was a drawage of £50, £40, blah blah blah. Bang on, say 13:02. When you totted up the 13:02s, it ended up with your all your full mortgage and everything else. So there was taking out cash and showing it that way.
Yeah.
And then we've reported it to the police fraud squad. We did all the paperwork, we did all the investigation, we did everything. And obviously they didn't want to know, but they did want to know, but they didn't want to know. And then, do you remember?
So was this event? This is what, 20 years back? You're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was prior to that you'd had a lovely life? You'd had, let's say, a life where you hadn't brushed shoulders. You hadn't brushed shoulders with the system in any particular way.
Yeah, doing your thing, and then then all of a sudden it's like, you know, what's this?
What is actually going on?
What is going on? So we've become very good at looking for patterns in stuff.
Right.
Yeah, patterns, investigating. So we did it for 4 years in the end, and then in the end it just got too much because we were being followed by. We had
a hearing, and they basically wouldn't let us produce our evidence to the judge and to whoever else was in there. And after that hearing, we got followed all the way into town.
We got followed by.
It must have been about 10 people.
They all almost look like 1970s sort of like CIA sort of agents, that sort of dress sense. And we're like,
they're still that corny. Good grief. What, with flared trousers and things like that? That's a bit much.
It wasn't quite flared trousers, but it did look like my dad's.
They're like the old Stapes Farrers that used to be back in the day. You know, that sort of look.
Yeah.
And we're like,
in the town that we lived in then, it stood out a mile, didn't it?
Stood out a mile because where we used to live, everybody knew everybody. You know, it was a sort of town where you knew everybody and everybody knew everybody, and these people you didn't know, you never seen them before, and they just did not fit into the town where we come from.
Okay.
And we sat in a square, didn't we?
Yeah.
To have a sit and a think about what we're going to do next.
All
around us.
The people that you referenced earlier, Michelle Young and Maribel Montero Cowell, which is quite a nice name.
That's a hell of a name. Wow.
Yeah, so they were the two ladies. I don't know if guys around here caught it. It was only an hour, but they were on with Kizzy last night for an hour, 6 till 7. And it's pretty gripping stuff, actually, because, I mean, in terms of the energy and the situation, it parallels what you're talking about. That there was
the same thing.
Yeah. That there was this abuse, basically a sort of theft under court systems and all this kind of other stuff.
Yeah.
And they were talking.
What they do is.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. What they were one of the points that they addressed was that. They met a guy down there. I mentioned this to Mark, actually, today on a phone call, and he was aware of these sorts of things. There was a guy that they met, they mentioned this last night, who had basically been robbed of 4,000 hectares of land. Not acres, hectares. and they'd just stolen all this stuff. And you got the scale of it. Actually, after that show yesterday, Kizzy called me up. She said, "Did you hear all that?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "I'm kind of in shock." I said, "Well, I'm not." I said, but I'm now aware of, I knew this stuff was going on, but the scale of it is huge. And the impression I got, and certainly your story kind of backs that up, is that it's systematic piracy and by the mafia. The whole thing is just diseased beyond repair. I mean, it's just, it's horrific.
Every corporate company out there, all the big corporate companies, they're all the same.
We was very clever at the beginning, because at the beginning we sort of got all the evidence together and we knew something was going on, because what they do is they made it impossible for her to pay her mortgage. So you couldn't pay it. So when you went in to say, into the Halifax, because it was a Halifax mortgage with their sister company called Intelligent Finance at the time.
Yeah.
So when you went into Halifax to pay the mortgage, they looked, there's a problem with the standing order. They didn't know who you was, right? So well, hold a minute. If it's a sister company, blah blah blah. So when we did the background checks and we chased people on phones and stuff, we realised that the sister company to Halifax, which at that time was Intelligent Finance, was based in Scotland, outside of the English jurisdiction.
Right.
Different laws.
Yeah.
So there was no actual physical office to go to pay your mortgage.
To pay or did anything. So I said, tell you what you want to do. Take your passport into Halifax and go, I'm worried about some money fraud. Can you tell me if I owe you any money in any way, shape or form? Bearing in mind, it was
my driver's license.
Yeah, but bearing in mind, it was Halifax taking her to court to repossess the house. So they should know about it. Right? So when she went into thingy and went, no, you don't owe us anything whatsoever. She said, well, can you put that in a headed piece of paper? So they put the address, a name, and everything down, and you don't owe.
They even put that I've never held any accounts at the address that I live at.
So the house that the Halifax was repossessing, right?
Yes.
We've got a headed piece of paper saying, no, don't exist.
We don't know who you are.
But when we first worked out what they was doing, what we did was we got half of the information. We didn't send it all. We said we played that vulnerability, availability sort of game.
Right.
Like, oh, I've got a problem. I wonder if you could help me. Blah blah blah, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what we did was we sent it to the Dear Board of Directors. So it has to be opened by the Board of Directors of Halifax. They can't blame anybody below.
Yeah.
It has to be.
You always put private and confidential.
Private, confidential, Dear Board of Directors.
They can open it.
So we sent that to the directors to the top of Halifax with this information about why I'm having a problem. And the Halifax Board of Directors sent us a letter back saying, well, okay, sorry about all of this. We'll get it sorted out for you. So they'd admitted at that point, they knew, right, of the coup that they was doing, because we got them at Halifax at the Board of Directors. So we knew we got them.
So they couldn't scapegoat anyone further down there.
And we knew it was we knew it was them. And then what we did was we sent the rest of the information and go, well, obviously you're involved because of all of this. What do you say? And then we just had a letter back and literally went, no comment, no comment, no comment 3 times. That was it. Boom. And we're like, wow, this is massive.
And at that point, we were living in the property.
Yeah,
we weren't paying. Obviously, we weren't paying any mortgage.
No.
Right.
We couldn't. We weren't paying any bills.
No.
Electric, gas, landline, mobile phone.
Nothing.
And we were like that for I don't know how long.
3 years. 3 years. Because it just
and we never got a knock on the door from any company or anything.
Nothing. It was absolutely.
It was like the no comment was from all of them.
All of them, because we'd caught them. But like when you actually stand back and go, the police don't want to know because they're all involved with it. Everybody's involved with it, and now we've stepped over a line. I don't feel secure anymore. You know what I mean? It's like
because all those agencies that are there supposedly to protect you, you find out that they're actually involved in it.
Exactly. So we felt pretty vulnerable.
Sisters, advice, the whole lot.
So we decided to, in the end, to hand the deeds, because she had the deeds, which is like mad, and the keys over to the court to walk away from it for our own personal protection, really. You know, because of the fact of it's just like, well, where do you go? What do you do? You're on your own here. You've crossed over a line. It becomes like no man's land, and it's just like, Dicky Birds
and
and
like those
Shrubbuses.
ladies said the other night, we got barred from the land registry. They, every time we pulled up in the car, they would lock the doors.
They locked the doors because there was questions.
They wouldn't let us in because there was questions.
And so I guess prior to this, right, you may have had a few sort of queries about the system, but nothing serious because this impacted directly on your life. And this is how most people, I suppose, feel it. You go, well, it's not affecting me. I mean, it's not going to wake you up. Certainly, I mean, by the way, those two ladies that were on, they're going to be on here in about 2 weeks' time, probably the last. In about a fortnight's time. I'm hoping to get them on because I want to have a chat with them. They're out there doing all this kind of stuff. But it's really strange that they did it, or they went through this. You've gone through something parallel to the whole thing, and then it makes you think, okay, there's got to be thousands of people are getting absolutely hammered by this stuff all the time, right?
This is when it went to the next level, because we even though they didn't have a file, we says, here's the information to the fraud squad. Keep it on file. I don't care what you say. Yeah. So all the information is we used to send it to them, send it in packs, CDs, packs, the lot, bang, here it all is.
It was like an idiot's guide.
Idiot's guide of how they do it, how they've done it, and what they're doing. And do you remember? I forget what year it was when there was a overnight safe robbery on the East Coast somewhere where £55 million in cash went missing. Do you remember that?
I might have been busy doing that night. No, I don't actually. I don't. What year is that roughly? Is that this century? Is it? Is it after?
Was it black and white?
2006.
Right. Okay.
2007.
Okay.
Right. So, at the same time we used to send everything, there was this heist in this overnight safe somewhere on the East Coast, where there was approximately 50.
Yeah, they didn't actually know how much physical cash was in there. Because there was no paperwork.
No paperwork. And 50.
But there was enough that if you wanted to steal it, you'd have to have an Arctic
lorry. So the guys that stole it was in police cars, police uniforms. There
was a
massive van. They literally had it in massive, like your bread crates, reeling it out, and blah blah blah. Right. So, and it's used notes from all over the country, stored in there. So we're like, I wonder if this is where the obviously they've been taken out through the ATM, and this is where it's all been stored, going to. So then what happened was they tried to frame a local sort of like bank robber and criminal in the area. So they parked one of the vans in his actual farmhouse, and they put some money and stuff in one of his barns and tried to set him up. You know what the police are like, they ain't the cleverest. And once they tried to arrest him, they realised he was on holiday out the country at the time.
Well, that's a pity for them.
So they couldn't stick it on him. So then it went to trial, and that trial failed. And then it went to another trial, and the jury got corrupted, and that failed. And to this day, no one that trial has never ever happened.
I mean, although the details are slightly different, certainly Michelle and Maribel, who were talking yesterday, were going through similar processes. I think one of them, Michelle, said she had masses of this evidence and it was not admissible in court. So is it this event, right, that then, I mean, obviously you bumped into Graham a couple of years back, but did this lead, were you then after this event sort of sniffing around all the time going, what is the scale of the whole thing? Or was it you let it lie for a bit, you went off and had some fun, you were telling me the other day, which is outrageous, having fun.
We eventually they sold the house.
Yes, got to tell you this. Oh my God.
Sold the house.
They sold the house,
and there was equity in it.
One at once, please. One at once. Please, it's difficult to follow at times.
I'll say,
sorry to be a school teacher, but we got to do it that way.
When we handed the house over, there was about 40,000 equity in the house for what she owed on this so-called mortgage.
Okay.
To thing. So I think the house was sold for 100,000. She owed him sort of like 55,000. So we're like, okay, we want the money. So they tried to run on whoever they were. So we chased them and badgered them and went on and on and on. And guess what? In the end, before we took them to court, because now the court was in our hands and not their hands, they turned up with a Barclays check, right, for about £36,000, right, and it got solicitor that we was using just to post things, and he rang us up and go, I've got a check here for you. The check turned up, it's a Barclays check. So why have we got a Barclays check from Halifax? And a piece of paper which looked like it had been printed out, right? And it didn't, when you actually added the figures up, it was £10 out, it didn't even work out. So you can see how they panicked and paid to pay us off. So we took that money and we just set up a new life. But after we moved out of the house, we had a lot of friends that used to go past that house, keeping an eye on it.
Right.
They actually moved 2 people into that house, identical looking to what we was, yeah, and put the same car outside and put the same curtains back up and the same plants in the window to make it look like we're still living there.
What?
How weird is that?
That's weird. So do you think that's part of the, these sort of psychological stalking of things? Eric's talked to people about this as well. That seems to be in that sort of realm of some sort of psychological warfare, something to unnerve people or to present. That's extremely odd, but they must have had, I'm assuming, some wicked, evil, sound reason, whatever you want to call it, for doing that.
But that happened in between us being evicted and us getting the equity. So that's when that happened.
That happened. I don't know if it was some sort of sting of these people, and it was fraud squad to make it like we're still living there, to see if these people knocked on the door.
Okay.
I don't know, but I tell you what, it freaked our mates out because we'd moved away by that time. We'd moved down to the south coast, and they used to keep an eye on it. And then there was a window left open, so one of our friends, he little bugger, decided to climb through the window to see what was in the house.
Bloody
right?
hell.
It was still empty.
Right.
No one was living there.
It still looked exactly how we left it.
Empty.
What on earth is going on? It's like a mystery.
The land registry actually took all the information from that property. It's an old property. The land registry removed all the information of all the past sales off the land registry, so it doesn't exist.
Now, this land registry stuff, I mean, I've got something going on, but I'm not going to go into detail, but not a bad thing or anything. But the land registry stuff, does this not tap into, or does it? It's a guess, right? Does this tap into the restoration of the English Constitution and fundamental laws that appertain to us, or is it disconnected in some way? I'm just trying to find out.
It's a tool for fraud.
What, the land registry?
Yeah, the land registry. It's a tool for fraud.
Yeah. Because it's got this word registry in it, right? So anything that's got reg in it means assigned over to the crown. Is that not right?
Yeah, you've given up. If you register something, you've given ownership away, haven't you?
Yes.
Like your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, you register your car, and then now they give your car back to you with terms and conditions. It's like what? I think a mortgage is quite similar as well. With a mortgage, within the mortgage, I think it says you have to pay this and you have to pay that and you have to do this. It's all
we're thick as 2 short planks around here, really, aren't we? I mean, I'm reminded of this all the time. I mean, we're not supremely thick, and I don't mean to insult you. I'm just in general terms. When you look at how we're brought up with all of these things, like mortgage means death gamble. More is death. Gage means gamble. You put up your life, right, to pay the thing. And I mean, Graham would know the exact date, but up to about 1500 and odd, if you were found issuing a mortgage in this country, you'd be hung, drawn and quartered. It was that heavy.
Right, yeah.
You couldn't issue them because they understood back then that usury, which is a big sort of regular returning theme around here, is absolutely the disease that destroys civilizations, as we can see all around us right now. It's a very mature and sophisticated version of it. But let's just leave that now. But that's I didn't know you were going to talk about any of that sort of stuff. But that's in terms of your personal experiences. That's obviously been a biggie, and I can see that.
Yeah,
that was the biggie.
Yes.
That was the biggie.
And were you sort of like full of electricity and fury from that point forward right up to now? Did it change your entire outlook on things? I mean, I'm assuming it must have had a major effect.
Absolutely, yeah. Don't trust none of it, especially with the COVID sort of stuff. It's like, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the nice thing about it is, because of like, I don't trust you, it sets us up in good stead for when that come along. I'm like, I don't trust you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't trust any of you because I know
you?
Exactly.
You don't trust the government, really? You don't think they're trying to help us?
Well, people say to me, Dad, why do you think the government want to kill you? And I'm like, well, the thing is, Why do you think they don't? And they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, and then after that, we've done loads of other stuff after that. That's probably a chat for another show. And then...
Excuse me?
Paul, so hang on, just hold there. Paul from America is coming in from an American perspective or something like that. Hi, Paul, welcome back in.
Well, actually, it's kind of an American perspective on a British statement, but John Lennon did say just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you.
Yes, this is true. Yeah, absolutely. So, hang on, Paul, you go. I'll have to act as we've got a few voices in here, so I'm going to have to ask as Paul, please speak.
I was going to quickly say that I think if we all understood the legal terms that they use, because obviously we don't always necessarily understand what the words are that they say to us, like mortgage. You said it's death pledge.
Yeah.
If we understood the law's dictionary and how that all works, we'd all be a lot more clued up, wouldn't we? And I mean that I don't mean that disrespectful. I mean we'd all understand what it all means, because like party, we understand a party as something where you go and have a few nice shandies and stuff and have a boogie. But in their world, party means something completely different. It's
yeah, you're absolutely right. I think, it's a good thing you say that, Paul. I mean, I was twisting my neck as you were speaking. I've got a book on the shelf about 4 feet from my head by an English guy, I don't know if he's still around, called Michael Rowbotham. And he wrote this book, tail end of the 1900s or early 2000s, called The Grip of Death, which is where I was quoting that fact from about the hung, drawing, and quartered stuff. It's brilliant stuff. It's very sober sort of book, so you have to be in a mood for that kind of thing. But it goes into this whole history of mortgages and what they were and all that kind of stuff. And, of course, they've augmented that into a situation like you, Juicy and Lucy, have experienced or gone through. And then we find out you're not alone, and there's loads of people like that. I mean, it's... you mentioning this thing about a booklet, Paul, is exactly what I'm working on. I mean, it's just an idea, but we need a thing. I want something. I need this. I personally need this, and I suspect most of us do. Like the layman's lexicon of the law. I love alliteration, as you can tell. I love it because it makes it. But we need one. We need to know this definition of these words. And you go, this is what you think you've said, but this is what you actually said. This is what you should be saying, that kind of stuff. Because if the words are they're literally the code that builds the sentences that create the meaning that cause them to take advantage of us currently. And
things like the word deeds, if you do a good deed, that's deemed as an act of kindness.
Yes.
But then you also get deeds with a property, which clearly means something completely different than what we think it does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish I understood it. I wish I understood it a bit more.
Well, I think we've all got to understand it a little bit more. But moving on, coming back to you, Juicy and Lucy as well. So you bumped into Graham recently. We were talking, obviously, in general terms. Yeah. We only had an hour last week, but it was a good hour, I thought, about this word.
It was a good show, actually.
Pardon? Yeah, it was good.
It was a good show.
Yeah, you can come back on again. That's great. You're saying all the right things. Yeah. This is cool. So, but I think, I mean, it's going to be difficult to throw off that word British. I mean, I quite like the sound of it, which is a problem, really, but that's just pathetic. But the whole thing, getting reminded that it's the English Constitution. This is important stuff, and it seems to me if our language is wonky, we're in a wonky state, aren't we? So I know it seems kind of tedious. You go, really? About words? But let's face it, we're just using them all the time like a river. And half the stuff I probably said is actually, from a definition point of view, incorrect. I don't mean to be incorrect, but you realise in retrospect, you go, oh, that's actually not quite right. I should be saying it like this. So it would be, and of course, as far as I'm aware, they never taught us definitions of law at school, did they? They didn't teach us anything about it at all.
They never taught you about the Constitution and your real history.
Yes,
I do like that about the Constitution because it actually does teach. It does teach you about history and what actually went on, not what you get told. I do like that because it's fascinating. It's fascinating. I love history anyway. I used to work on a lot of the historical build. I used to work for like English Heritage National Trust. So I used to work
because that's your sort of professional line. You're in the building trade. Is that the way to describe it?
Yeah, building trade. Yeah, I used to work for a lead company and hard metal company. So we used to I worked on Chequers for a year and a half. That was a weird place.
Really? Where is that again? Where is it?
It's just outside Aylesbury.
Aylesbury in Buckinghamshire. Is that right? Aylesbury in Bucks. Is that right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was working there when the London bombings went on. I was working there. Yeah, that was a weird old time that was. But yeah, I used to work on all them old historical buildings. You know, fascinating when you actually get right into them. You know.
Yeah.
Because we used to get the keys to get into absolutely everywhere where people haven't been for years.
Right.
And at Chequers, there is a room in Chequers that, because Henry VIII built it originally, and there's a room there where he kept, I forget which wife it was, he kept his wife in there out of the way as a prisoner. And there were some glazers I was talking to, and they had to go into this room to get to the windows, and all of her stuff was still in there. So where's that? Like she's just left.
What, from 1500 and odd?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was like, that's weird. I've done it all over. The graves up the lot, you know what I mean? Putting holes in churches and everything else. It's like, I've had all of that. But anyway, so...
Yeah, there's a couple of comments in here from Tracy. Let me just read a few of these out. That's quite interesting. It's just good to include everybody's in the chat, and I like doing that. She writes, Soviet British. Yeah, I go with that, absolutely. Yeah. And Lone Star says, I speak English, not British. Yeah, this is good. We speak English. And Tracy writes, she says, it used to be called civics. Yeah, I remember that. I don't think I ever got taught that, but I know that it used to be. They taught you your rights in school. They took it out of the curriculum in the 1970s. Yeah. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. After they illegally took us into the EEC. Well, that's probably why I didn't see it, because I went into high school in 1971. And 72, they did, Ted Heath did The Dirty, and that's possibly why it disappeared. And I went to an all-boys grammar school, I'll have you know.
Same here. I went to an all-boys as well. Snap.
Yeah. And Lucy, did you go to an all-girls school?
I mixed, but it was a grammar school.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's when school was school still, really, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Like, we used to get beat with the board rubber and God knows, you know what I mean? It was like pretty brutal.
We did. Eric, did you get beaten at school? Were you beaten at school, Eric?
Oh, yes. I was bullied, but I went to a mixed school, and all those girls were terrible bullies.
Vicious. They were vicious.
I know. Oh, they threw their nail polish at me, the lot. But no, I was... it was one of the first comprehensives I went to. Yeah, so it was a comprehensive school. It was... Well, it didn't really teach you anything. I mean, I started learning when I left school. I found it... I detested school. Couldn't wait to get out.
Learn at school?
Not much.
No, nothing really. What was that algebra about?
Well, I guess it's got a good use. All these things, they don't give you the context, do they? If they give you a context and say it's useful for this, suddenly you can make your mind up whether you're actually going to apply your brain to it or not. But it's just like, here's some stuff, learn it, remember it, and pass an exam. And you go, why? You know, and of course, but that's the one question they don't want you asking is why. But coming back to this, so you go through that. You have far too much fun from what you were telling me this morning. You go partying for 5,000 years or whatever you're doing, and you're having fun. Yeah. And then within relatively... So this is running as a back thread in your life at this time, to some degree. Just correct me where I'm wrong. I'm just making it up. I'm guessing here. And then you bump into Graham on a boat, as one does, and that sparks off this next phase of enquiry. Is it something like that? Is that what's happened?
Hello.
Yeah, we're all still here.
Hello.
What happened there? Who's that?
That's Eric. Yeah, we're all still here and we can hear you. We're all still here and we can hear you.
It's Barclays Bank. Didn't like it.
Oh, I don't know. They don't.
And do you know Barclays Bank? Barclays Bank got actually kicked out of South Africa because they was funding apartheid.
Right. Yeah.
In 1970 something.
Well, South Africa, of course, is a whole can of worms.
Oh yeah, look down that one.
It's a massive can of worms, and what they've done to South Africa, that's the blueprint for what they're rolling out across the remnant of what I loosely call Christendom, simply because that's a common denominator, or Western European civilization. And they learnt a lot of tricks there about how to build a. I mean, I was talking to a South African person the other day about how amazing it was, and I think it was pretty amazing actually. In the 60s, they were leading the world in so much stuff. So couldn't have that. Can't have a one world order if you've got this uppity little company down there on the tip of Africa.
Or little England that's annoying everybody. You can't have that.
Well, it's time that we annoyed an awful lot more people. So this,
it is.
Yeah, the Constitution stuff. When did you first start looking at that? When did you first start looking at it? What guess?
Only about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
We looked at that we looked at the free man of the land stuff, and was part of different groups and having a look at it and blah blah blah. Don't get me wrong, we met some fantastic people through it, but I'm like, this doesn't sink in. It doesn't work. There's people paying a lot of money to go into different groups and everything else. And we're like, I don't get any of it. A lot of people that we knew lost their homes, land, everything, and I'm like, this is not good. Yeah, we seen it full on, didn't we?
We did.
We're like, this isn't good, you know.
No.
And it's not just what's happening in this country. People doing it in New Zealand. There's doing it in Australia. So it's not a case of just it's an England thing. Yeah, it's literally a global thing.
Mm-hmm.
Funny enough,
it just puts people in harm's way, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's and I'll tell you what it is. It's somebody chasing a pot of gold from their so-called birthright of like so many million that they want, right? And it's like, it's very insular. Yeah, it's very what I want out of it, not for the greater good of the country and everybody else. It's what they want out of it, you know. Because they said the mortgage is fraud. We know what a fraudulent mortgage is because it's not on the books. But if you've signed for something, then own it. Not say, well, because you did this and you did that, I'm not going to pay my mortgage. They're going to take the house off you.
They want to take the house off you anyway.
Anyway, because we've been down that road.
That's the aim of the game.
The aim of the game is to get the house off you. So if they
it's
can
all
get
a land grab.
So we looked at that. We did that and everything else, and we looked at all of that, and we're like, you're saying a bit of me. And then we had that chance meeting with Graham about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
He mentioned the difference between British and English and what it actually meant, and that was enough for me. Gotcha. Now it makes sense.
Yeah, I have to say, hearing Graham, and you know, I've been aware of him for years, but when one's information consumption plate is full, it's right now there's somebody saying something brilliant, and I don't know where they are, but they are, and you kind of because there's a lot of informational knowledge and treasure out there, and it's like it's organizing it. I was talking to someone earlier today. I said, you know, we've actually got, I think. We've got all the tools that we need. We just need to recognize them, recognize where they are, and then how to use them and use the right sentences. It's really important. You just go, if you can get these sentences right and get things straight, we start to recreate the honourable world that we all sense we are being robbed of and being placed in this false, bogus sort of construct all the time. So I think the words are absolutely, well, they are key. It doesn't really matter what I think. That is the case. They are. And sorry.
Sorry, and a lot of the stuff in the free man land stuff is like they'll be looking at a word that's spelt differently, or it'll have a capital or a hyphen, and that means this, and that means this, and that means, you know, all of the different meanings of a word because of a hyphen, a full stop behind it, the text of it, and everything else. But they can't see the difference between British and English, and Britain, and this and that, and that's all the same to them. And I'm like, it's not. It's not. I'm glad we did what we did.
Yeah.
Because now I know the right path.
Well, you felt pain, didn't you? I'm assuming it was a vexatious process, and it's. I know it's like saying this is a nuts thing to say, but it's almost as if it's only the really hard, tough, unpleasant lessons that you really learn from. They change your entire life because there's a lot of energy behind these sort of situations. A bit like with these two ladies before, they absolutely galvanized by basically inadvertently having their hand placed in a fire that they didn't even know was there, and suddenly going, what the bloody hell's going on? This is completely out of order. Because we are extremely willing, trusting people. You don't think we are, but we're very cynical about things. We're very sarcastic, which I love, of course, and we should be. We've raised sarcasm to a sort of an art form over here, and I think it's wonderful. It's a way that we cope with it, as well as humour, which is something that Eric is regularly right.
Humour is fantastic.
Humour is it. It's a killer app. We've got a killer app in humour. And they hate it when you laugh at them, don't they? Don't they just hate it?
Yeah, or just come out with a sarky comment. They're like, I don't want to. Because the fact of if you even look at the humour, they've been attacking humour now on TV for 30 years.
So that it's not funny anymore.
Right, I mean, I remember like Tom and Jerry, they banned Tom and Jerry because it was too violent.
Oh, it was dreadful. I remember being mentally scarred as an 8-year-old watching Tom and Jerry, crying and going to my mum and dad going, it's so violent.
Well, didn't they ban the A-Team for that very same reason?
No one ever died.
The A-Team was deemed as too violent, yet no one ever got hit or shot or killed or anything.
No one died. But the thing was that the band Tom and Jerry then put Power Rangers on where they're kicking hell out of each other. I'm like, this don't make sense.
Hey guys.
Yeah, Paul.
I think what they've done is they've used language against us at the very same time that they were taking language and higher level English out of the schools. They were using that very thing against us because there's a YouTube channel called High Frequency Radio, and I don't normally listen to the guy, but I did have somebody did send me one of his videos, and it was a difference between citizen, and the difference being whether citizen was capitalized or not. Right. And he pointed out that in the Constitution for the United States of America, prior to the 14th Amendment, every time the word citizen was used, the C was capitalized. But after the 14th Amendment, every single occurrence of the word citizen was all lowercase. Now, that says to me that there was a change through grammar, or indicated by grammar, that there was a change in the actual sovereignty of the people, the citizen people. Mm-hmm. And that, I think, is when they turned the screws to us. So it's absolutely the case that citizen has been reversed. Citizen used to be the creator of government, governed by consent of the citizenry, to citizens being serfs, being slaves. And I think that's a lot of what everybody globally is dealing with. In not so many words.
Their status, Paul. They're classed as a slave, serf, because obviously what we're involved with, well, one of the ways it's being described is a return to the feudal system. The high-tech feudal system is what they appear to be having underway. And I am encouraged, you would know the history stuff as well. In 6 years' time, in 2031, it will be the 650th anniversary of the Peasants' Revolt with Wat Tyler, John Ball and Joanna Farrar. And I think we need to be making preparations to have Peasants' Revolt 2.0. I mean, I would say that this is the preamble, all this communication and information gathering period, because we need it. We absolutely do need it.
I don't think we have 6 years to wait.
No, it's about 6 weeks. Over here, it feels like it.
Yes.
Yeah, 6 weeks then. Everybody get a
good
wriggle
flailing then, Paul.
What's that?
A good flailing, that's what we need.
Well, I actually think that, what Graham's doing and what you're doing in terms of inquiry, this is the sort of constructive flailing. We've got kind of, I'm grasping in generalities, and that's all I can do at the moment, but we've got a retrovirus that's based on the truth and the actual stuff. And the fact that these things like Magna Carta, the Bill of Rights, and the Act of Settlement that Graham was talking about, that aspects of the clauses in there are in perpetuity and cannot be broken. And it's like, what did Tony Blair do? People say, they use a statement like this, he changed something. He did something on the Treason Act, didn't he? He was trying to change the Treason Act, or maybe he did, but he didn't. He obviously didn't, because no one can. So where's the power lie? It obviously lies in the ignorance of most of our kith and kin, or the lack of awareness of what anybody called a prime minister can and cannot do. Because everybody believes, wrongly of course, that prime ministers can do anything they like. But as Liz Truss pointed out, they can't do anything. I mean, really, they can't do anything of any substance because they're not in charge. And, you know, I was mentioning earlier in the first hour, I've forgotten his name now, the Scottish fella that was on with Mike Graham recently.
Neil Oliver.
Neil Oliver. That's twice I've forgotten his name today. He needs a better name. And he was basically, he said, you know, which we all know, that these are puppets. It's the latest puppet. And now we've got Andy Bumhole coming in, and he's going to be the new one. And it's ridiculous. But if we are able to effectively muster up the English Constitution, the English Bill of Rights, and get this stuff simplified. I think I was saying to Graham last week, and I bang on about this all the time. It's like we need an advertising agency mentality. No one will come and work for us on this, but we need, when you go, right, I want you to boil this down into slogans and this, that, and the other, and we've got to hammer it, and this is how we do it. And it's administrators that we need. I know it sounds so boring, but it really is. You go, is this going to make a difference? I go, well, what else are you going to do? It's peaceable. It's informing people correctly of what's going on. And as it builds up, lots of additional pennies, I believe, are going to drop in people's heads. Just like it's dropping in mine all the time, actually. There's still loads more to go. It's not like, oh, I found that out, so I know everything, because you've probably discovered that as well. You know, you think you've got a handle on something, and then something else comes along, and you go, oh, it's actually more evil, or it's more complex, or this is a better way, or whatever, which is, I guess, how it's always going to be, which is no bad thing. There's always something new to learn.
It has really kicked off in the last, 6 months? You know, a lot of people now talking about the Constitution.
Yep.
What it is to be English. Yeah, and that's worrying the powers that be, because it's really becoming a movement.
And that's why we're making memes on crucial snippets of information that Graham pulls out of these books.
Yeah.
To because it sticks in your head better, doesn't it?
Yeah. A meme is no more than a picture in the 15th century. An oil painting was a meme.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we've got a digital meme, so it's exactly the same thing. It's just
I like your memes. You keep sending them. It's like we want everybody producing tons of stuff, because it changes, don't you think? It changes people's perception of the agreement. They suddenly go, "There's loads of us. There are loads of us right now, just waiting to be switched on. They're just there, and you've got to keep lighting the fire. What else are you going to do anyway?"
Yeah. And that's why I think the free man of the land stuff was invented, because people were looking for something. You know, people were sort of conscious. We need to look for something. There's something not right.
Yeah.
So the powers that be created this to lead people into this.
We've just lost your signal momentarily. I'm sure they'll return. Are you still there, guys?
Yeah,
Currently
I'm still
not.
here. Can you hear me?
Over there,
I'm still here.
Yeah. Yeah, no. We
happening
just
over
lost
there.
you, Juicy and Lucy. We just lost you for about 5 or 10 seconds there. So.
Oh, did you?
Yes. Okay. Don't worry about it. It happens. It's called internet. It's fine. It happens. You know, it's one of those things. Yeah. There's something I was going to say from what you just said, and I can't remember. Somebody say something intelligent while my brain recalibrates or something.
Well, we did think about doing a kids book on the basics of the English Constitution.
Yes, I bang on about this. Yeah, we need Janet and John books.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah,
this is exactly what's needed. It's exactly what's needed. Kids readers, primers. You know, John thumps so-and-so. John gets arrested. I don't know. It's that kind of stuff, you know. We've lost them. They've just dropped out of the thing, so I guess they're just having dodgy internet for a while, and they might be back.
I definitely think that we need early readers, and just to teach the things that used to be taught that are not taught anymore, that people desperately need to know. I think that's brilliance. We need early learning readers.
We do. Well, you'll have to expand, Juicy and Lucy, your meme making into making these early readers. That's what's needed, don't you think?
Well, we did think about doing a kids book, and we thought, hey, that'd be brilliant, because then we'll understand it.
That's it.
Oh my god, we're starting from basics again.
Yes.
We've got a kids book.
Yep.
janitor job, whatever. Yeah, and from here we can go right. That's your basics, and then we can move forward. Because it's not rocket science. I mean, obviously Graham's on a whole different level, but the basics do go in, and they stick in. Dates stay because it's all. Thing is, we're really attaching ourselves to our ancestors, and
agreed.
That's what we've forgot. We've our ancestors want to come. Our ancestors want to come through us on an energetic level, but if we've got the wrong format, our ancestors are going to go, sorry, don't know who you are. So you don't understand anything. So you end up lost, and I think that's what causes a lot of mental illness. You've got this all these different sort of like things now. People can identify as anything they want. They can identify as, but you can't identify as English.
I know. I'm trying to identify as a billionaire, but people are not having it. It's a bit tricky.
No. Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Don't you know I've got inexhaustible supplies of purchasing power? They go, you don't. It's terrible. It's very irritating.
But the thing is, look at the mental illness that's been caused because of the fact of what people identify. I mean, school kids identifying as a cat and have a kitty litter, right? That in later life isn't going to do you any good whatsoever. So,
they've obviously been right. They've been encouraged and put in a context by the so-called teaching profession to bring that about. So, who's in charge of Teacher Training College? Oh, hello, Fabians, probably, right?
Fabians in the British, yeah.
So,
and the thing is, if you're not identifying of who you are, and that goes for all sorts of races and creeds and people. Yeah, if you're not identifying to who you are and what your ancestors are, it's going to cause mental problems because you've lost your identity. Your DNA says one thing, but you're thinking something else, and it's like there's a
clash.
There's a clash.
Yeah.
Yes.
And on an energetic level, that's not going to do you any good whatsoever because there is an energetic level.
Spot on.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of this is down to depopulation, isn't it? Because if you've got a school full of children who don't know what sex they are, and this promotion of pride, well, if the next generation all end up being lesbians and gays, there'll be no children. So the uptake of the arms spears during 2020, if that wasn't quite as much as they wanted, by bringing this agenda in, they're still fulfilling what they tried to do, which was depopulate. And as I say, without straight parents, there will be no more children. So somehow this has got to change. I don't know.
Are you being politically incorrect, Paul?
Good.
I don't know.
We'll
go with
Heaven
that.
forbid! What kind of a show are we running around here? This is outrageous.
Sorry about that.
No,
it's pretty boxed out.
Look, it's just plain. It's not rocket science, is it? But of course,
right.
the communication space that they've created would indicate that apparently it is rocket science. And if you look at the way that barristers and people speak, it's incomprehensible to the layman. And why should we be tasked with learning their secret code? I'm not interested. It's a Gordian knot thing. You go, look at all this complexity, let's unpick it. I go, where's the sword? I mean, really, seriously. It seems to me that part of the sword, several notches on it, are the Magna Carta, the Bill of Rights, and the English Constitution. All of this in these documents. Are you aware of a guy called John Bingley? Have you come across him? Do you know of him?
John Bingley.
He was very active online with, I think it was called, now forgive me, the British Constitution Group. But he did a lot of stuff about 12 years ago. He's a very interesting guy. Because I've been going back over old links and stuff, I actually spoke to him probably about 10 or 12 years back. He's an armourer. He makes ammunition for guns and is a gun maker, which is great, isn't it? And because as far as I understand, I think Graham mentioned it possibly last week, we are allowed to defend ourselves with armaments.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
So
I think if self-defend themselves, that's why they carry the firearms. They're using what we should have for themselves. Yeah,
absolutely.
So
listen, we're coming to the end of our slot here on WBN. It's just coming up to 10 o'clock here in the UK. I don't know what time that is in America. Just coming up to 5 o'clock, I guess. Yeah, it probably is Eastern time. And so we're going to say goodbye to you on WBN 324. Look at me getting it in quite early. I'm being quite efficient these days. If you want to carry on listening to the show, you can do. If you head on over to paulenglishlive.com, you'll find a player there for FFT Radio, but you'll also find links to the Rumble and YouTube groups. And Rumble's really healthy tonight. We've been having a struggle with Rumble, but shout out to everybody. But it's really good to see that we've got a good clutch of people there on Rumble tonight, which is great. And we are going to be back on the other side after I've played a little thing. Now, this is a very old English folk ballad. How about that? It's called Lovely Jane. I think it's Jane, or is it Lovely Jean? Oh, no, it's not. I got them both wrong. It's both wrong. It's Lovely Joan. Lovely Joan it is. How about that? So we're going to play this, and we'll be back with you on the other side of the hour. And I've got a little clip, another clip to play just after this. So here's a little song for you to keep you busy for the next couple of minutes. This is an old English folk song, really rather beautifully sung, I think. Here we go.
A fine young man it was indeed, all mounted upon his milk-white steed. He rode and he rode, he rode all alone, until he met sweet lovely Joan. Good morning to you, my pretty young maid, and twice good morning to you, sir, she said. He gave her a wink, but she rolled a dark eye. Says he to himself, I'll be there by and by. Oh, don't you think those boots of hay would make a pretty place for us to play? So come with me, my pretty young thing, and I will give you my golden ring. He took off his ring of gold, and says, my pretty young fair miss, this ye behold. I will give it freely for your maiden head, and her cheeks they blush like the roses red. Come give that ring into my hand, and I will neither stay nor stand, for your ring is worth much more to me than 20 maidenheads, said she. So as he made his way to the hay, she leapt on his horse and rode away. She rode and she rode, she rode all alone, and that was the last he saw of Joan. But neither did she think herself quite safe, until she came to her true love's gates. She robbed him of his horse and his ring, and left him in a rage in the meadows green.
There, do you feel all English now? That is a very old English folk ballad called Lovely Joan. I really quite enjoyed that. It was very nice. And welcome back to Hour 3, everybody. So Paul left us. Mr. Anorak had to go. But I hope that it's the complete opposite of more lively things that are of the modern idiom. But there you go. And I might find out who sung it at some point, but I just found it on the internet. And I just thought, well, we'll have that. That's quite nice.
I feel pretty sure that is Pentangle. It really
it's
does
not.
sound like
I'm telling you right now, it's not. So I don't know who it is, but yeah, it's lovely. So more like that, please. All you singing minstrels and minstrelesses, if that's the correct...
minstrels.
Yeah. If you could send that to me, I'd appreciate it. Because, of course, I was listening to...
Yeah.
No. If I was sitting here trying to listen to it, and I was listening to you and Eric talking during it, and it kind of...
I know, he ruined it here on this end. You couldn't hear it out there, but we were yakking like Billy O'Hare at this end. It was terrible. Yeah, it was awful. It was terrible. Eric just ruined it. And then he's legged it. No, he hasn't. He's still here.
Well, about to leg it, because I'm absolutely cream cracked. I was up about 4 this morning. I don't know why I got up so early, but I've got to get up tomorrow early.
Well, you might bump into the lovely Joan, Eric, on your way to Slumberland. So yes. There's probably tons more stuff out there that's like that. That's good, and it's just a matter of gathering it up. Gathering up the treasure and playing it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. We don't get stuff like that anymore, do we? I mean, there's no music.
You just had it. I just played it a minute ago.
I know, but I'd love to know who they are. Yeah, but they're not famous, are they? Yeah. Anyway, I'm off to Slumberland, and I'll speak to you soon.
Catch you later, Eric. Eric's, by the way, you can catch Eric on Sunday evening at 8:00 with Fockham Hall. Okay, so he's on FFT.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's cool, Eric. Keep good. I'll be in touch, mate. Okay, keep well.
Good night.
Yeah.
Bye. See you later.
Bye for now. How are you doing out there in Juicy and Lucy Land? How's it going?
Yeah, another thing. Since we've actually been looking into this for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
When you watch an American show now, like a cop show, you actually understand what they're talking about.
What do you mean?
When they talk about the laws, the this, the that, and obviously, I'm like, oh my God, I actually understand what they're talking about, where I didn't before.
Right.
When you used to watch a cop show or a series, and then they're doing all the court things and everything else, you're listening to it, but you don't really understand what they're talking about. It's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Where now, I actually understand exactly what they're talking about.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God. So now we're having to watch old things because we understand it.
Well, it's not a great part of the American Constitution derives, of course, from the English Constitution.
All of it. Yeah, when you actually listen to it now, you think, oh my God.
Yeah.
We was looking at something this morning, right? And something Graham was talking about. We were doing a readout, and audience. And I tell you what, there's a lot. Started looking into that. Like reading before we went to work.
A little bit of a deep dive.
Right.
And we found something amazing. You can be actually a constitutional enforcement officer or something, doesn't it?
What? I can.
Something like that.
Yeah.
A constitutional enforcement officer. That's a CEO, isn't it?
Well,
I think. Oh, I can't find it now. I think it was a constitutional officer.
Constitutional officer.
Right. Okay. Well, we might want a bit of that.
Yeah, that's why I said we sent a message to Graham. Go, any chance of a badge?
Yeah. Do you like badges? Do you? You want a badge?
Oh yeah, I like Muttley. Medal.
I wanted to just track back a bit to something that you actually mentioned in the phone call to me this morning, and also you mentioned it just maybe 20 or so minutes back. This Freeman of the Land thing. One of the things that you said to me, you mentioned common purpose, didn't you?
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, many will, but you probably don't. Common purpose is almost sounds like Communist Party, and for good reason.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's another kind of Fabian weird sort of thing, and like a non-governmental organization. And it used to be headed up by a woman who was as crazy, very bright, but crazy as a bat, completely mangled intelligence, called Julia Middleton. As far as I'm concerned, I remember seeing a video of her with her eyes darting around in her head all over the place, like she was just having a nervous attack. What's that?
She's like the devil, weren't she? She's like,
yes.
I'm like,
she had a crazy sort of energy about her, extremely disconcerting. Like if she was your aunt, you would never want to go there for supper, ever.
No,
you would never want to go. She was like a wicked witch, awful woman, terrible. Awful. And I remember she used a phrase, didn't she? And that going beyond your authority or something like that. And it's like, what are you talking about? And then you realise that they're commies, basically, and that they talk like this because she's on the great mission to save us all from the Constitution, probably.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
Yeah. Auntie She-Devil's coming around to look after you. Like, oh, great.
Yeah.
We've actually seen common purpose actually in action, because we used to be part of different groups over the years, and different groups, this was in New Zealand, were getting a bit of traction and a bit of this, and they was doing a lot of annoying stuff to the government and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden this bloke came in to the group, sort of attached himself to somebody that just lost her husband, so she's vulnerable because they ain't stupid. And then sort of like
he wheedled his way in.
Because she was quite high up on the administration sort of side of this group.
She was kind of in the inner circle, wasn't she?
Yeah, and then he came in, attacked us because people think that when we used to join different groups, people thought me and you were CIA. I don't know why.
I don't know.
They always thought we were CIA. Well, I didn't get the memo.
Or the paycheck.
Or anything else. It's just because we question things. We question things and we listen, and we activate, but we don't activate. And I don't know. People are a bit, and he didn't like us because of the fact of we was watching him or listening to, by what he would say. Yeah, and then we would then phrase a sort of sentence to see what his next. Well, I won't say goading, but give him a chance to pull away from what he just said. And then by his next action, it gives you an idea of who that person is. So
this was in New Zealand, you say?
This was in New Zealand. This is Common Purpose. And then, in the end, he moved in with her. He wanted to sell her house, and then take over this group and everything else. Yeah, it was, and we were like.
He wheedled his way into the admin group.
Yeah. And
then went on the attack. Really.
Went on an attack to break the group down from within. Mm-hmm. And we just watched it. We sounded him out. Obviously, we know who you are, mate. Yeah, he didn't deny it. But Common Purpose, they are.
They will do whatever it takes to get into the inside of the group and smash it from inside.
Smash it, and it doesn't matter. Some people have even had babies with certain groups of Common Purpose. It's like an organisation which will sell their soul to do their job. So they're like a sleeper cell. Right, of just normal people. You won't know who they are. You haven't got a clue. And then next thing you know, right, when they're told to go and do what they're going to do, they'll meet you in a bar or blah, 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 move in with you, have a relationship, have kids with you, have a whole life with you to get in. It's pretty serious.
And once they've done what they've set out to achieve,
they go.
Disappear.
Yeah, they go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
It is brutal, and a lot of that female land stuff is I think personally, is Common Purpose.
You think it's riddled with them, yeah?
Riddled. It's like the British get good people to do bad things, right? So the English have always been good people. You can tell that by the law. The law says the sort of like. So if you look at the English law, you can see that the English were good people. Mm-hmm. Look at what anybody says. Very fair law. And,
and it does keep you safe.
And if any law needed to go out into the universe to other universes, it would be a form of the Constitution because it's fair for everybody.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I like that about the Constitution because you could put the Constitution into a sci-fi movie, and it would fit. Because the fact of it has no telltales of timelines or when, and the people that wrote it were so clever.
But maybe I know you use that word, but I don't think of them as clever. I think of them as being sort of connected to the real sort of font of wisdom, like the sound principles. I associate it's just me. I associate cleverness with deception. So you would say that barristers are clever. But when people say you're clever, I go, no, I'm not. I hope not. I don't want to be clever. I want to be wise. No. There's a big difference, isn't there? I think, and that's what it's grounded in a real root of like common sense and common law. All of the things that they've. So I mean, obviously, the communication of this is vital because it's like building a larger amplifier to get the truth back out and to blow all the shit away, which is what we're covered in. We're covered in a false narrative, and people go, "Oh, it's like this, and we're all going to love one another." And I go, "I'm not. I absolutely am not going to do that. You're asking me to become a mindless fool and just unconditionally think it's mad. It's mad."
Yeah.
The thing is that the Constitution ties in lovely with your morals, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. It's literally where your morals come from.
It's almost like it wasn't for us herself because you'd be living the life that way because it had been taught by your parents and parents and parents. It was there for incomers coming into that situation to go, listen, you can't do that because it says it here. The average person would just live life normally, and it wouldn't interfere with them really, because that's how you've been brought up.
It's your internal operating system, don't you think?
Yeah, your moral compass is set.
Yeah,
it's almost for people that would come here, right? And then that law is there to go, listen, right? Listen to me. You can't do that because of this. And I think a lot of it was for outsiders coming to the inside that didn't understand, and they go, listen, you can't be doing that, and if you do it, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the average person that was working the fields and just getting on with their life and working for the Lord of the Manor and blah 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 blah, it didn't matter, because you knew what your moral compass was. But it was for other sort of people that was coming in, yeah, and going, listen, you can't be doing that because it's here. Stop it. Or chancers or grifters, and that's what the British government are. They're grifters. So basically, they come up with an idea, and they see if the general public accept it.
Yeah.
So they're just grifters. That's all they are. They're just grifting.
Pirates. Yeah. They're pirates, really, of the worst sort. Yeah, sorry.
And it is muscle memory. Yeah. So muscle memory is something that gets into your subconscious. Yeah. So say you've been going up and down a ladder on a certain side of a house, and then you move that ladder. You still go to the position of where the ladder was because you've gone up and down it so many times. So your subconscious is taking you to where the ladder is, even though that you know that you've moved it, because it gets into your muscle memory gets into your subconscious. And that's how they did it through COVID. They're very clever. They know full well they had to give people new movements. So it's like a pattern break. So you've been doing things a certain way. It's in your subconscious. So they had to then create different, you got to stay 6 feet apart. You can't put your mask on between this time and this time. So people was operating within this sort of like new physical movement. Yeah. And then that physical movement goes into your muscle memory, and then the whole COVID thing goes into your subconscious, and it promotes the COVID narrative through your self-conscious. And you still see people now wearing masks or staying away from people.
You do.
Everything else, because it's because it's gone into their subconscious through their muscle memory.
Yeah, it's that conditioning stuff. I mean, it's basically as if a new sort of the new restore point on the operating system when you reboot it has been shifted to accommodate these things, which were all introduced courtesy of a grand lie, and for which most of the perpetrators are still walking around free, like Anthony Fauci in the States, and no doubt the Muppets that we had over here, doing all these sorts of things. Yeah, it's absolutely... I mean, it's there. Yeah. In terms of your sort of day-to-day activities now, I mean, I know you're very busy with all sorts of things, and you're whacking it. So are you kind of crowd builders? How do you view yourself in terms of what you do? Because I know you're putting these memes together, and I appreciate them very much. I mean, anything that comes through that's hammering the truth, it's like, can't you get a bot to send out 10 million a second or something? I mean, it's literally like that. It's like communications.
We tried it, and they shut our accounts down. So yeah, it's a case of we put so much up. Yeah, and then leave it for a bit, and then we use another account and put so much up, and it's the only way to do it. Otherwise, they just see that you're a bot, and they shut your account down. They took our X down a few weeks ago for no reason whatsoever.
Right.
And then
I appealed it, and they said no.
No.
And then all of a sudden, somebody said to us, "Your account is on X."
But what?
We were like, what?
And they put it back up. So that was really strange.
Strange, that is.
I don't know what happened there.
What is your account? What's your handle on X then? Say it so that we can hear it. What is it?
Oh, now you're asking.
Oh. I'm a tech tard. I don't know.
I've closed it.
Don't worry about it. If you come across it, just mention it in the show. We don't need to get stuck in it right now.
I'll tell you what we need to do for next year, because England's 1100 years next year.
Yeah, when is that? July the when? 12th, is it, or something?
12th, July the 12th.
So we just passed the 12th, didn't we? Where were we? 16th. So what was 4 days ago?
Yeah. So next year, England is actually 1100 years old, but the British aren't talking about it. They're not going to have a party about it or anything else.
No, I was on a group the other day, actually. I'm meeting up with some guys of a similar ilk on Friday. I think I'm going to a pub, which is going to be a bit queer for me, but never mind. I mean, it's not that I don't like pubs. So we're going to some kind of pub, and somebody had written something. I don't even know what it is, and I'm not. It doesn't matter. But they said we need to petition the government to have a day to celebrate England, and I said, isn't that sort of like getting it all muddled? What do we need? They're the very cause of all of our problems. Why do you go to your jailer and say, let me out of jail for a day? Do you think they're going to just sit around laughing? Forget it. I mean, apart from you're just giving them all your information. They go, oh, this bunch are going to be a bunch of troublemakers. They want England back. Well, it's never gone away. I mean, it's completely here.
Why are you asking permission?
Yeah, I'm not going to ask anybody permission.
I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to ask permission to celebrate England being... Well, so I swore again, didn't I? I've done quite well, though. I have done quite well.
I tell you, the field for absolutely pithy, savage, vicious, hilarious memes in this realm, the English basically overwhelming the false British fiction, for want of a better phrase, are considerable. The opportunities are huge, because we also start to, you see, I mentioned it to Graham, we don't have a voice. I mean, I'm not against anybody else having one. The Welsh, apparently, although he was saying the Welsh Assembly is kind of compromised or whatever it is, and they're a principality. Yeah. The Scots have got theirs, which is buggered, I assume. Probably the people of Northern Ireland are not happy either. But the English don't. You've got the British Parliament. Yeah, but it's not English, mate. I want an English. If we're going to have an English one, let's have an English one. I don't want to call it Parliament either, because it comes from the French, so they can stick that with their backsides. I just think we need an English gathering.
Spoken lies, isn't it? Parlays to speak and mented lies. Spoken lies.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and the British thing has been. We never knew when we was kids, because it was the British thing was being beat into us. I remember going to like the Queen's Jubilee things and stuff, and it was all British, and it was all this, and it was like egg and spoon races. I remember when the Queen came to where I lived, and everybody stood outside waving the British flag.
Oh, she's lovely though, isn't she? Lovely, the Queen.
Oh, lovely.
Wasn't she lovely? She was lovely.
Lovely. Yeah. And but now, right? You're not seeing so many of the British flags at all.
No.
There's a lot of English
There's a lot
flags.
more St.
George's. There's a lot of.
I've never been a fan of that. I don't know why. I just haven't. I've always thought it muddled about St. George and stuff. I've got to tell you, I think we did some posts, didn't we, on the Telegram group? I love the white dragon on the red background. I absolutely love it. I just look at that. I go, I'll have a bit of that. Thank you very much. It's
like
just great. I just love it. Yeah.
Yeah, but we live in Wessex, so we fly the Wessex. You know what I mean? So,
are you in what? When you say Wessex, do you mean West Sussex? Is that where you are?
No, we're in the Kingdom of Wessex.
Are you? Very nice.
Yeah.
How do you get to be king then? Sorry, that's from Monty Python. The lady of the lake, her arm clad in the purest shimmering samite, offered up to me Excalibur from the bosom of water, signifying by divine decree that I, Arthur, was to be your king. Listen, May. Strange women lying in ponds distributing swords is now basis. Sorry, I know the whole sketch. It's sad, isn't it? Anyway, it's one of the great. It's one of the great. Hey, Paul, you want to say something?
Is that WESSEX or
Yes.
WESSUX? Because that would be we sucks.
No.
We've got a lot. No, there's a lot of sex in Wessex.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not we sucks, it's Wessex.
Yes, Wessex,
All right.
as in West Sussex, or at West. Well, there were all these sexes. Yeah, there were. There's a lot of sex in England, loads of them. Probably
it's a Saxon thing.
It's a Saxon thing. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Bloody
Thank you
Saxon.
for clarifying.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think I'm really enjoying becoming English again. Obviously, I'm cool, Paul English.
Right, honestly, just learn how to be English again. And like you say with the George's flag, it's stepping stones. If we go to people, oh, by the way, it's this one. Right at the minute, people think, yeah, but I'm British. I work for customers, and they go, "What are you doing tonight?" I say, "I'm going to annoy the British," and they're like, "You are British." No, I'm not. Or you'll park somewhere or whatever. They go, "You can't park here, mate." Yes, I can. Why's that? Because I'm English. Door one. Door one, mate.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it just doesn't it appeal. It appeals to that kind of childish bit in you that's good, the bit that's sticking two fingers up at authority, because you're going, who the hell are you to tell me what to do? You're just a daft bloke in a suit or whatever you've got. The answer's no. And there's something about, don't you think there's something highly attractive about being stubborn and pig-headed? It's just the coolest thing. It's like a kid when you just a tantrum and you will not be moved and you just stick your feet in the ground. Stop being so stubborn. No, I love it. It's great. It's fantastic.
And how dare they use our language as well? English.
The thing is, there's a copyright issue here. Right? Because they've put their seal over English laws.
Well, they're not allowed to do that.
Exactly. So there is a copyright infringement over that because when you actually look at the crest and you've got the unicorn on the crest, the unicorn is the Trojan horse, because that is symbolic of the oligarchs of Scotland, putting their stamp in over English law. So this is where you've got this administration Roman law coming into England, and that's that stamp over the top of it. Because this is true fact. I was watching something the other day. The what it should have been was a thistle, because the thistle was the
emblem.
Patron, sort of the emblem for the Scottish people.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was watching this program the other day of where they actually got that from, and it goes back a very long time, where the Scottish was being invaded by the Vikings, and the Scottish army was camped out. I forget where it was. It was camped out somewhere, and the sneaky Vikings were tiptoeing at night time to come around the camp, so they took the shoes off so they didn't make any noise and walked on the thistles.
Started shouting.
Started shouting because I was in agony.
Woke
everybody up, all the Scots. They come out and slaughtered the Vikings. So it became the flower of Scotland.
That is so cool. I'm so glad. It was worth it to just hear that. That was just brilliant. I love stuff like that. Now you got the root for it's brilliant.
Yeah. So why would you have something like a thistle, like a weed, to be your national flower? Although the Welsh have leeks, I can't get my head around that. But anyway. Well, it does rain a lot there, doesn't it?
I don't know. I'm not impartial to a leek, but it's not the first vegetable that springs to mind on my vegetable chart.
Did they go around beating Vikings with leeks? Oh, I don't know. But yeah, that's apparently that's a true story of why it became the flower of Scotland, because of the fact of it saved the Scottish people from this invasion.
Mm-hmm.
So why the hell is a unicorn put over that shield? Because that's a different thing. So that the unicorn is literally the Trojan horse, and what was inside that is where we are now with this administration law and everything else. We shouldn't be here.
Right. Well, it isn't here, is it? Because it's not here in this conversation, is it?
No, it's not. No, they're probably listening though.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and I think it's
all right.
Well, it's all right. It's fine. You see, given that this puts us on really solid ground, it's kind of like you go, well, there's work to be done, but we've got a real solid foundation to restore the building of the people back on, metaphorically speaking. We've got it. I think, has Graham actually written anything? Has he put any pamphlets? I know he does his show and everything.
He's got all his pamphlets and everything. I think he's writing a book, layman's terms.
Right.
He is writing a book.
Yeah. We'll do the kiddie books. We'll understand that more.
We just can't have enough books. We can't have enough of them if they're cool and nimble and get in there and they're fun. And you go, that's that. You just illustrate it like with all sorts of things, and then people start, I'm English, mate. I'm not British. I don't know who they are.
I mean, it's like when people say, but I'm half English and half Scottish, so that means I'm British. No, it doesn't. It means you're half Scottish.
It means you're confused. I don't know. Yeah.
It's like, and then people go, well, I was born in England, right? So that makes me English. And then you look at them and go, no, you're not, right? So if I was born to English parents in China and I go, I'm Chinese, you go, you're fucking mental. You look, also,
sorry.
You go, you're mental, right? Because of the fact that we look nothing like them. But
I've said it here before. If my dad had towed me off to Peking when I was 5 and I learned Cantonese or whatever language I learned, and then I somehow managed to wangle my way into becoming the mayor of Peking, I still couldn't say that I'm a Chinaman, because I'm not gonna be one.
No, because it's mental.
I can't transition to a Chinaman. It's not possible.
No.
It's impossible.
They've got kids' books now saying Vikings were like Africans or Eastern European or something.
Oh, they're so funny, aren't they? Are they funny in their desperate attempts? Yeah, what they're doing, though, in a way they're doing us a favour. If you actually look at it, what they're doing is they're stirring us up by being cocky and trying to rub our nose in it. And people didn't even know there was anything to have their nose rubbed in. Now they're looking at it and going, this stinks. Hey, hang on, this ain't right. It's, there's this film coming out as well in a similar vein called The Odyssey, which is, of the Greek epic by Homer, made by the guy that made all the Batman movies, whose name I've forgotten because I don't really care. But there's this absolute uproar about it because the casting is insane. It's obviously they've got a woman that's transitioned, supposedly. You can't do it, by the way. That's pretending to be a man. I don't know what that means. Maybe bits chopped off and bits glued on or whatever. I mean, it's just the most incredible mental disease that's going on with these people. And do you see that clip that was going around with this American girl? He said, "How many genders are there?" She said, 3. What are they? He said, male, female, and the mentally ill. And I think that's really
right.
But it is sad that they're mentally ill, and of course they've been augmented and amplified by the Fabian mentality. They're pushing all of this it's everything to demoralize the traditional way of life. The one that actually works, that one with families and things and all that kind of stuff, the one that we want back. And they've done all that kind of stuff. But the Odyssey, the casting is just completely... It's so woke, it's almost like a parody of being woke. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's a. I
don't bear it.
I think it's coming out at cinemas tomorrow, worldwide, or something like that. This Friday.
Coming out the closet tomorrow.
Yeah, and Christopher Nolan, the guy that made all the Batman movies, the English guy, and all I'm thinking is someone's just said to him, "Right, you've had a lot of fun, you've done what you want, you've made loads of money. Now you're going to do something for us, and if you don't, your career's over." I mean, that's all I can think of. I mean, it's just, it is ridiculous. So, not that I like the Greek epics. I've got a lot of that stuff on my bookshelves, right? There were things that inspired me as a kid, particularly those helmets that the Trojans wore with all those feathers and everything. And you just look at that, you go, that is so cool when you're a lad. You just go, look at that. Where do I get one of those headdresses with those big plumes on the top and all this kind of stuff? But it's not that now. It's transgender people running around. Helen of Troy is a mixed race individual. I mean, it's just, you go, forget it. And what they're doing is they're basically... shitting all over our inherited shared culture. That's what they're doing on purpose.
They are rewriting history in real time.
In real time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here's a question.
Yeah.
Right. So if all of us lot, the English and people that know what to do, and we all go right, and the eradicators, and we all left, and we'd all gone, who would look after the infrastructure of this country? Because the people that are bringing in, right, have no idea how to keep a nuclear power station going, a building going, plumbing going, industry going, or nothing. It would just literally collapse within 5 years.
Well, that tells you the plan. That's exactly what it is.
That I think is the plan. I've worked in the building trade all my life, right? Yeah. So church is 700 years old, 1,000 years old, properties, the terrace, that's it. I know exactly how they all fit together. I know that absolutely every single bit of them. Yeah.
Right.
And that's something that you can't teach. You couldn't even teach AI. Right. So who are they going to get? This infrastructure will collapse within probably 5 years. It'd be just absolutely done in 5 years because there'd be nobody.
One of the things I mentioned, we were talking about the Greeks. I was just a second ago, but all of the civilizations, including this one, all went down, and they've all got one thing in common. They've probably got several things in common, but one of them is allowing the alien to move in and live amongst you. Greece went down for that reason. Rome went down for that reason. It's not the alien's fault. it's the holders of the power, or it's the traitor within that undermines. I mean, I'm assuming basically there are envious eyes cast upon any nation that gets its act together, right? They just don't like it. Like, I've often thought, you've got a country and or a nation, and you've got surrounding nations, and one of them really starts to get its act together, and the leaders of the other nations are now embarrassed that they're crap in comparison to the guy or guys or gals that are in charge of the other one. And their peasants come up to them and go, why are you not sorting us out as well as Bob Smith down the road with the Bob Smithians, or whatever they're called, right? And what they do is they go, well, we can't compete with them, so we'll go to war with them, or we'll send spies in, or we'll destroy what they're building from within because it's making me look bad. There's all these sort of little weird drives that go on with people, which is about the coveting of power, and then huge numbers of people get slaughtered just so a couple of blokes can stay in charge of a shithole. And that's because they're not wired up right. They're just not wired up right, these people,
No. Well, the thing is, Paul, once you remove sanitation and water,
yes,
you're dying at that particular point.
I've got to tell you, I love talking like this. I've often said there's two things without which civilization would probably come to a shuddering halt: dentistry and plumbing. If you've got toothache, right, you know what it's like. Yeah. Toothache is the worst. I've been a lot of much heavier pains than that. Toothache drives me absolutely crazy because I can't think, right? I just cannot operate with it. So there's that. And if there's no plumbing, it's really, really bad. This is so bad. Yeah. And we just take it for granted. And you're right, but they're doing it on purpose. I mean, any nation is basically run by, I would say all of them, the Western European ones, are run by the middle management who've got something about them and have an innate sense of responsibility. We know it gets warped, and many of them get corrupted now and all this kind of stuff, to keep things working well because they take a natural satisfaction in making things work. We like to make things work. We hate it when they don't. It's our disposition. We can't stand it because we know what the repercussions are going to be. You're not taught this at school. You kind of learn it when you go in the real world. You go, that ain't right. You don't know anything about that. I might not, but I know it's not working. I can see that ain't right. I can see that that's cocked up. Who's responsible? Oh, you can't do that because it's politics. And then you can't get anything done because everybody's covering their backside because they don't want to be exposed as an incompetent chump. And we've all been incompetent at some point in our lives. We just have. It's okay. You don't go around and beat someone, but it's that they hang on to power. Anyway, I'm only stating the bleeding obvious here, but it's just... Oh, I thought he was going to get his full-on soapbox then. I thought, yes, he's off. Well, you got to whip it. Have you got your soap? I haven't brought mine into my shed tonight. I was going to stand on it and really start shouting through the megaphone then, but we're addressing really basic things, aren't we? And you can see that all these so-called basic things are malfunctioning by design. And the very people that rock up to say they're going to solve it are the ones that actually created the problem in the first place, knowingly. They've done it knowingly to acquire power as the leader of the solution, like Ed Millipede, right? A guy who knows literally nothing about anything much, right? He's profoundly, he's obviously just a political animal of whatever he is. But, I mean, the whole thing like, oh, we're going to reduce all our energy consumption. You're destroying our industry. That doesn't matter because we've got this thing to save the world. I mean, that's the story he's telling us. It's another story as well. They don't give a crap about that either. They've just found this good sort of little angle to convince all the good-hearted Europeans that, yeah, we shouldn't crap all over the planet. And you know what? We don't. You got to look at China. They just built 300 coal-powered fire stations. Yeah, I don't... And you know that Chris Packham. Chris Packham. I'm not a fan. Let's put it that way. I won't kick off, but I'm not a fan. He's going around now. They're doing some kind of presentation about the whole of the environment, and we're blowing the world up, and all this kind of stuff. And it's serious bit of brain warping garbage. And these suckers fall for it. And it's the suckers amongst us that are the problem. It's the muppets around us. I hate to say this. I've got an open heart to everybody, but there comes a point. Yeah, there's a thing about God. It says God's patience is almost infinite. I love that. It's not quite, right?
Almost.
Yeah, because there gets to a point where literally nature just kicks your ass. And it's what it's doing to us because we've been remiss. Yeah. But we've also been nudged and we've been massively distracted with a colossal array of toys since 1945. Radio, TV, computer games, sports on steroids, advertising, consumer products. Just, this is what life's about. You just got to go out and work and buy some stuff, and that's all it. And it ain't what life's about. That's just an incidental. It's got to be sorted, but they've used that to sort of unplug us, as it were, from the traditional way of life. And unfortunately, it's been very effective on huge numbers of our people.
We're the same. It's like we tweeted a long time ago. If you want a lot of stuff, you got to work.
Yeah.
So it's live quite basically, live comfortably, right, and you don't have to work so hard.
Let's have another little song. I want to have another little song and a little clip. Okay, this is an American song. I mentioned it last week. It's only a couple of minutes long. It's great. It's about the very noble art of being a shoe cobbler. How about that?
Oh.
It's lovely. It's a bit of bluegrass. It's fantastic. This is by a band called something or other. Who's it called by? The New Mules. The New Mules. You'll like this. And then I've got a little clip from a film coming up afterwards. Here we go.
Was that ant that stood up to me.
Yeah, but we can forget about him.
Yeah, it was just one ant. One ant.
Yeah, you're right. It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss. They're puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one?
Are you kidding?
Well, how about this?
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?
Hi, ants. Hello, welcome back. We got about 15 minutes to go or so. So that last was a little clip from A Bug's Life. And the song, as I said, by the New Mules, Shoe Cobbler. Makes me want to be a cobbler. So welcome back to the last few minutes. Yeah, there we go. Anybody got any sort of closing things you want to wrap up with? What are you doing in the future now?
Is that chicken again?
Yeah, that sounds like a chicken on speed or something, or it's just been given heroin or something. That was very distressed chicken. Yeah, it was. I think it's all the way from America, that chicken. It's bloody loud, isn't it?
Sorry, so sorry.
Oh, it's like a bloody barnyard in here. It just gets so out of order. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean
that is actually actually a chicken of some reputation. That, and she's probably in the chat in Rumble right now. But that was one of Mur Bailey's actual honest to God roosters.
Wow, they sound like Godzilla roosters.
Of her chicken babies.
That sounds like the Godzilla of the farmyard. That's a.
Take that boy.
It makes our very polite English roosters seem rather tame in comparison. They're very well behaved. That one's.
Don't wind them up, though. Don't wind them up. Don't wind the English ones up.
They kick off, do they?
Oh yeah, they'll kick off.
Americans are loud and obnoxious, anyways. You know that.
Oh, not really. Not all the time. No, we can all be loud and obnoxious, and we might have to be. Actually, it might not be too bad. Being a bit obnoxious might really help us out. I think. What are your plans then? Look, it's July, isn't it? And I don't know about you, I'm kind of aware that things slightly lull now. You can feel it, actually. Everybody kind of needs a break. The weather's been amazing. We're always whistling on about the weather over here, aren't we? Because that's what we do. Yeah. Which is good. The weather has been stunning. We do need some rain. I'm so oriented towards thinking about farmers. I'm going, is it going to rain? They really do need some rain, They must do. And it's all got a bit bonkers. I think there's loads of wildfires in Canada. I think I mentioned that at the beginning of the show, actually. There's tons of little things going on. They're always up to their little games with things. But what have you got planned for the remainder of, July and August? I suppose summer doesn't come to an end officially until September the 21st. But I've noticed that the nights are drawing in already. 1 month past. We're nearly... Oh, no, it's getting dark again and all that kind of stuff. But have you got anything planned in terms of activities coming up?
Who's that?
You. Yeah, you guys. Lucy and Lucy. Yeah.
We're just trying to survive the heat.
Survive the heat.
Our boat is like a conservatory, isn't it?
Yeah, we're building the boat. We're building extensions on the boat. We're doing modernising it. We're doing all of that. So trying to get fiberglassing done in this extreme heat is another level. So
that'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, work on the evenings. You know what I mean? So I'm working till it gets dark.
Right.
It's just too hot in the day. You just can't do anything. And then just keep annoying the British. And then I think the best thing, what people should do, is get a pen and paper out like at school, and literally do 100 lines a night. I am English. I am English. I am English. Yeah. And program it into themselves.
Yep.
Because the hand teaches the brain. Do you know that?
Yes. Yeah, we've got
the hand.
Yeah. We've got a lot of dust to blow off, but these conversations about all these different aspects of the disease that we see around us are aiding in that process, I think, very much.
And you do slip up, because it is muscle memory and it goes into your subconscious. They're very good at it, and the British got good people to do bad things, you know what I mean, over the years. And I think why the British pick, personally myself, is because we're good at fighting. We're good at doing what we do. And they needed an army. And this is why they tricked us into doing things for them.
Yeah, well, I'm still not happy with the Normans, of course, but what can you do? It's all spilt milk now and all that kind of stuff. No point crying over it, but we've got the resources to put it right. I think I mean, everybody's got a slightly different way of expressing this and sort of communicating it, which is understandable. It's unavoidable as well. You're all going to do that. But if we get down to these core understandings of a clutch of simple things that we can all sort of imbibe, ingrain in ourselves, it'd be good. I do need a dragon flag in the garden. I do think the dragon flags are great, but if people don't, then I think I would be happy for some kind of council of flagmen, I've just made that up, right, to say this is what we're going to sport, right? Because I'd like one of those, but then you could put each of the county flag of a little county emblem on each one. If that's what we decide, if people say, I don't know what you're banging on about with dragons, isn't that Wales? And everybody looks confused, and you go, well, maybe it's just a sort of an emblem too far. I don't know. It's just me speaking. I know what I kind of warm up to, and I look at that and I go, oh, I like that. That really taps into the whole root of round here. I think it's great. And I guess we kind of associate medieval England or merry old England with good things. And actually, in great part, it was good. That's also been obscured from view, a lot of it. You know, we've mentioned here, back in the day, people were working 26 weeks a year. And the work day, they used to take a sort of 2-hour lunch break in the fields and stuff. And they were at liberty. Well, not liberty. They were freer. Liberty's permission to be free. We don't want liberty. I'm not interested in that. It's freedom, or at least a restoration of the true law. You know.
Yeah, you want time to enjoy yourself. You want time to put your feet up. You want time to do things in between things, and to do what you want. So do what you need to do, right, and then do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the only way, the only way to do that, you've got to step out of the system as much as you can. You've got to step away from these mortgages. You've got to step away from all this stuff if you can.
Yes,
it's difficult. It's a whole life change. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, and
thank you.
I'm so glad we did.
Yeah,
definitely. So glad we did. We just pay obviously a mooring fees or whatever, and that's it. We've got no debt on the boat. We've got no debt here. We've got no debt there, and it just frees your life up, doesn't it? It frees your life up.
It's very, it does. It does. I've mentioned here, I just got rid of my mortgage about 3 months ago or 2 months back, and I feel very, very different because of it. In fact, so different, I don't even know how to think half the time, because a lot of those worry thoughts or those things, or I've got to look after this, not worry so much, but all those tiresome responsibilities of maintaining your relationship with the state that should not be. Many of them have currently gone. Of course, they're planning to reimpose loads more, because that's how they thrive as a parasite class. And I think that's all part of it, isn't it, really? Do you fancy being in charge of sort of the architectural advisory board for Albion? I only said that because it was alliterative, right? But one of the things that me and Eric particularly used to work in stuff that we constantly drone on about is the revolting nature of modern architecture, so-called, and the absolute puke buildings. I hate them. Yeah, it's disgusting.
Nothing beautiful about it.
It's awful. It's not pleasing to the eye.
Nope.
And do you know most houses that you buy these days are only actually structurally sound for 35 years. So when they're actually being designed, they're being designed to be structurally sound for 35 years and 35 years only. So after 35 years, their structural integrity has gone. So when it comes to doing another mortgage for another 35 years, you're going to be struggling because the structural integrity has gone, because they're only designed for 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
No one tells you that when you go to mortgage.
Well, you just told us. Eric would have been glad. I'll mention it to him when I have another conversation with him. I'm not surprised. The house I'm in, I think, was built in 1922 as a council house at the time, but it's solid as a rock. It's really solid.
Yeah, bomb-proof, mate. Absolutely bomb-proof. I mean, these timber frame houses that people are buying now, I mean, good God, it's like they're literally made in a warehouse, and then they're bought out on site in like a caravan, and then they're just nailed together, and then they put the plumbing in, and then they just build a brick sort of like facade on the outside.
Yeah,
and that's your house. And I'm like, oh my God, and people are paying hundreds of thousands of pounds for a bit of cheap timber and a bit of a brick on the outside. And it's like, they're only designed for 35 years. And then after that, I don't know what you're going to do after that.
Yeah.
No, because you won't be able to sell it.
They want to sell it because structurally, there's a lot of concrete places now where they've got this concrete cancer. So a lot of places now you can't even get a mortgage on a lot of these old places because they're made out of concrete. It's got concrete cancer. So it's cash sales.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I know a place where there is the best part of probably 300 flats.
Yeah.
Built out of an old army base, right? And the structure of it was literally concrete and obviously rebar. There was sold at the time, some of them for the best part of nearly £1 million. They've actually now put a thing on it that the building now has got concrete cancer. None of them places now can have a mortgage on them in the future, and it's a cash buy only. Yeah, you imagine that.
The predations of the bank being a for-profit, privately controlled parasite leaks into every single thing that we talk about. Every single thing. It's their predominant blood-sucking tool, and that's how they do it. And it's now morphed into them intentionally designing crap houses that are going to fall apart so that a new generation have got to get another mortgage. It is... Yeah. It's not that we don't have wealth, it's that we're not allowed access to it. And then because it's in the hands of others, they are impairing the quality of all things. Anyway, I'm only preaching to the converted here, but sometimes it's fun, isn't it? You know, but... Yeah.
I was on a train journey a while ago, and when you look at the sort of new infrastructure, it looks awful. But there's still parts of the old beautiful steam railways which are still there. The raw tie, this and that, and it looks amazing. But when you look at the modern stuff, and it's just a galvanized pole with a thing on it, it looks awful.
Yeah, there's a couple of comments in here actually. Alice, gorgeous. Hi, Alice. She says Sheffield's listed flats, Park Hill, is crumbling. No surprises there then. Architectural terrorism has just come in. And then Tim Seymour writes over in Rumble that modern architecture is designed to demoralize European indigenous races. 100%. Absolutely right. That's exactly what it's 100%. To do.
Yeah. It doesn't do anything for the soul. It destroys it.
No, and you were saying that certain things are being forgotten. How to create these wonderful buildings won't be taught. It'll probably take 25 years to disappear out of whatever a curriculum is these days. And so no one will even think of doing that. They'll think of down the constraints that are being placed upon them. We've got an awful lot of tidying up to do. There's so much.
I mean, my old trade, because I obviously do the lead smithing. So basically, we used to make everything. We used to make all the hopper heads that you see on the cathedrals, the pipes. We used to make absolutely everything. The lead sheets. We used to have sandcast lead, so it was the same as what the Romans used to have.
Right.
All of that, right, is now. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they did stained glass windows, and it says your trade is what's known as on an extinction level. Right, and a government will pay you, right, to train people. And I went, no thanks. No thank you. Yeah. So that just goes to show that them trades are now becoming extinct.
Well, you're going to have to play a role in the restoration of the craftsmen's guilds, which is just a lovely word. Of course, they got corrupted as well, but the intention's great.
Yeah, I've honestly, we'll have to have another chat another evening. I could tell you some stories.
Oh, we can do some building shows. I think we ought to. I don't know whether I'm necessarily a man. Eric might be quite good, but I think just in general terms, we respond so well to beautiful buildings, and they augment and improve your mental, physical, and spiritual health. They just do.
Yeah.
And that's why people still come to London to see the old ones that are actually worth looking at. They don't come over to see these flats. I can't wait to go to London and see those big blocks of flats. Yeah, me too. It's so exciting. No one gives a shit about them.
Oh my God! I couldn't think of anything worse.
Yeah.
The London Eye. Like, oh my God!
I think it should be the eye. It's really referring to is the one in the rear end of your bum. It's the only eye that I can think of. Yeah. Really.
You're on about the muddy eye. That one.
Okay. Yeah, you could put it nicely put. That was very good building site language. I'm quite impressed with that. That was excellent. Yeah, tremendous, wonderful stuff. Yeah, really good stuff.
I've literally worked on so many beautiful buildings in over the years. You know what I mean? It's like stunning, and the history. I worked on Durham Cathedral for a while. We did the monks' dormitory there, where they held a garrison, I think, of Scottish prisoners there for a
Right.
while.
Yeah.
And when they was there, they carved all the pillars. So all the old stone pillars have got all carvings in them, which they carved because it was there for so long.
Right. We're at the end of the show, Juicy and Lucy.
No.
We're at the end of the show. Yeah, it's just coming up to 11 o'clock. Well, yeah, that kind of thing. So it's been great having you. Very different sort of show. Really,
thank you.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. It's been fantastic, and I'll be in touch and at other times as well. Lots of grounds for constructive thinking, I think, with loads of stuff and constructive behaviour. There's lots of festivals on, I think, this weekend. Most of the FFT hosts are up at the Weekend Truth Festival at Wrexham, I think it is. So if you're going up there, have a cracking time. We'll be back again same time next week, same bat time, same bat channel, 8 o'clock on Thursday. And we're getting more guests lined up for this show. But it's been fantastic having you this evening. Keep good, and we'll see you all real soon. Bye for now, everyone. Bye-bye.